Hello and welcome or welcome back to my self-titled YouTube channel. I am the eponymous Fiona. And welcome to part 2 of the Q&A. So in this one we will be doing more personal questions, about me. Because previously, the last video was just about Stardew. I haven't changed the stuff on the wall. I didn't really know what to put up there instead. I thought it'd be really weird if I just put pictures of me, so... Also, I couldn't be bothered to look. The radio is on in here. I just turned it off, but it means it's like really warm. And then it's also like really grey outside, and I kind of feel like I just want to go to sleep. But we'll pack up. Okay, before we get into the questions, I have to address, I did accidentally... I don't know if you can see properly. I did accidentally dye part of my hair purple. It doesn't look that bad in this lighting, actually. Because I tried... I won't get into it too much, but I left the purple shampoo on my hair for too long, and these bits were bleached a lot, and no, they're purple, so hopefully that goes away soon. It was an accident. But yeah, nobody's allowed to judge me. If you judge me, that's illegal. I did my nails to match, though, for the vibes. All right, without further ado, I'm just going to jump into it. Okay, yeah, so I organised it into sections because of that's the kind of personality I have. So here's our table of contents. We've got personal life / cats, crochet, random opinions, fanfiction, career, YouTube, production, future videos, and media opinions. I tried to link things together a little bit, So last time I did the Q&A, I had the screenshots of the people who asked the questions on the screen. But there's a lot of questions this time, and it was really hard to do that, to search all the screenshots to find the right ones. So I've just written down the spirit of the questions, and we're gonna go through that. Okay, thank you for asking the questions. You're not gonna get credit, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, there's a lot. Last time it was fewer questions, longer answers, but now I'm going for more questions. I'm going to try and be rapid, quick fire, I'll probably fail. But first, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Raycon. Now, a question you may be asking yourselves is, how do I find affordable earbuds without sacrificing quality? Well, I've got your answer. Raycon start at just half the price of other leading wireless earbuds, but offer premium audio quality and a ton of features, such as active noise cancellation, a 32-hour battery life, and wireless charging. Honestly, the thing that I use them for the most is sleeping. My husband snores like a chainsaw. And I usually wear earplugs, but since I got my Raycons, I've been turning on the noise cancellation and listening to rain sounds. And honestly, I can't hear the snoring anymore. We can stay together. And with the ergonomic fit, they stay comfortable and in place in my ears all night. Plus they're cute. They have such cute cases. Fits in with my aesthetic. Plus it supports wireless charging, so you don't have to faff about taking the case on and off. Go to buyraycon.com/Fiona to get up to 20% off site-wide. That's right, you'll get up to 20% off everything on Raycon's website, including 20% off all headphones too, when you go to buyraycon.com/Fiona. Thank you to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Okay, the first question is to do with the cats. So how did we get the cats? Introduce people to them and just talk about them in general. I don't think they want to be in here today. We took Marmite to the vet this morning, so he's mad at us. He's fine. He's just got the sniffles. So we have 2 cats. They are called Marmite and Lasagna. Those are their legal names. We do not call them Marmite and Lasagna most of the time. We call them Marmy and Muffin. And also 500 different names, because obviously. So we rescued them. They were rescue cats. We got them from a local place. It'll be 3 years ago in April. And they were 5 years old when we got them. Now they're 8, I think. And we went into the rescue place. We were emailing with them. We told them, we're looking for 2 cats, but we're looking for, young cats, because you ideally want, kittens or whatever, so that you have the longest time with them. And we spent a while in this place, walking around, looking at all these kittens. And bless their little hearts, they did not want to spend time with us, these kittens. I got scratched by one of them. The lady who worked there was like, oh, it's fine. You can pet him, he won't scratch you. He did scratch me. Bless him. So we went there specifically looking for kittens, but we went into this other kind of section of the rescue place, and it makes me so... It feels so weird when I think about it, the chance that we might not have got them, that we might have got different cats. I hate thinking about it. But yeah, we went into this kind of different place. I don't think the lady was going to take us there or introduce us to them because, we'd said kittens. But Marmite, he's the black and white one. He is the friendliest little guy in the world. So he kind of came right up to the gate of the little area they were in, and he was trying to say hi through the gate, and we were like, oh, who's this little guy? And the lady, I guess, seized an opportunity. She was like, oh yeah, well, there's 2 cats, they're brothers. And so we went in and we were kind of petting Marmite. Yeah, Marmite's the very outgoing one. He's the one that's, sitting with me in the majority of the videos. And when people come around, he's the one that comes and says hi. And then Lasagna, the orange one, He's more shy, so he was kind of tucked away in the back, but we still got to like give him a little pet. He's a bit more jumpy. He's more reserved, but you know, he's calmer. So once he likes you, he'll stay with you like for an extended period of time. Whereas Marmite's like always running around. Yeah, and we pet him and we just fell in love with him. Yeah, so we've had him for about 3 years now. Oh, I love him so much. Yeah, Lasagna's much more chill. He really likes finding these like hidden spots to sleep. So like he sleeps, there's this box I still haven't unpacked from when we moved that he likes to sleep in. There's a cupboard here that has a moving box inside it, and he sleeps inside the moving box inside the cupboard. When we first got him, he like went underneath our rug, and we would think, oh, there's just like a lump in the rug, but there would be a cat in there. But Marmite's very, I don't know how to put this, up and down. You know, he gets his moods. He's like his mum. In that he'll have this thing, we call them the marmies, you know, like the zoomies, but the marmies, because he'll just go absolutely mental sometimes and be like running up and down the stairs, just like really going crazy. And then other times when he sleeps, he's like passed out. Like when we took him to the vet this morning, he was asleep and I literally just like scooped him up and put him in the carrier and he like didn't wake up. But then, you know, Muffin's always somewhere in the middle. So yeah, and they fight a lot, which sucks. Marmite's the aggressor most of the time. And hopefully they'll come in at some point. Hopefully we'll see him later. But yeah, no, I love him so much. My hands look like this, so theirs can look like that, you know. Just trying to give him a good life. So the next question is, how did you meet your partner? So me and Sam met on Tinder. For the longest time, I would just lie. I would just say we met at university, because we did, because we technically did, because we were in the same year and we had been to the same events at the same time, but just not known it. So we might have met eventually, organically, but we met on Tinder. Yeah, I had never gone out with anyone before, really, and I was really nervous. And I was looking through my old diary for quotes for the same video, and I got to a bit where I met Sam, and it was like, I'm having feelings. Like, I was so nervous. Like, at first I thought like, oh, I'm never gonna actually go meet up with him, but then we were just texting a lot, and I'd never had that. So I was 19, we were both 19. And because it was 2016, some of the first messages we sent each other on Tinder were about Rick and Morty. It was a different time. We were kids, you know, we were kids. And then we added each other on WhatsApp and we would just like text like every night for like hours and hours and hours and hours. Yeah, and then I started, you know, really liking him, and then I kind of was able to get over this fear of actually meeting up with him. And then I did it, and then it went well. Safe to say it went well, because we are married. Yeah, our first date we went to the student union bar at the university, and he just happened to have his CV, his like resume, in his bag with him because he'd been to like the career center. And then so I remember going through his CV and being like, oh, you spent 2 years doing this. Oh. I think every man should bring their CV to a first date. It's pretty handy. And then the next question is, what is your favorite thing about being married? Honestly, my favorite thing is when he calls me his wife. I like calling him my husband. You know, I like it, but it's just my favorite thing in the world. Like when he's in the other room and he's talking on the phone and he says, oh yeah, my wife thinks, and I'm like, that's me. I'm his wife. You know, it's like that John Mulaney bit of saying wife versus girlfriend, where he's like, oh, can my girlfriend come with me? As opposed to saying, that's my wife. It just feels secure, feels adult, feels grown up, you know? So yeah, I think just the novelty of it, honestly, because it hasn't changed anything in our relationship because we've been living together for years and years. So it's not like, you know, anything really changed. But it's just the way that I just look at him sometimes and I'm like, we got married. We got married. You are my husband, you know? So I say that was my favorite thing. Okay, the next one is, tell us about your wedding. So the wedding was very chill. Right, I'll put some pictures on the screen or something. That was the number one thing we wanted, is to make it chill. So we didn't do like a sit down meal at any point. We didn't have assigned seats at any point. For lunch, we had like a pizza buffet. And then for dinner, we had loaded fries. So just like chips with stuff on them. And then you could sit wherever you want. We made it so there was a bunch of seating everywhere. You could just sit wherever you wanted. And there wasn't a bunch of stuff to do. Like I sent a big email, I think it was like 2 days before the wedding, being like, if you're ever wondering, should I be somewhere? Should I be doing something? The answer is no. You know, except for the ceremony, do whatever you want, right? Because we had this beautiful venue. It was this big venue with all these beautiful like grounds. Oh, and it was such a wonderful day as well. Oh, the weather was just beautiful because it had been awful the day before. The weather was so bad the day before that we had to reprint the speeches because they got wet. But then the weather the day off was just beautiful. And it wasn't even perfect, right? It wasn't just blue skies, because there were clouds, but they were like aesthetic clouds, so they look really good in the pictures, which is exactly what I wanted. And it wasn't too hot. It was just like pleasant. It was perfect. It was wonderful. Yeah, so we organised it to be very chill, and then it was very chill. It was perfect. It was perfect. Yeah. And I get emotional when I think about it now. So it was like a weekend thing. So we got there on the Friday. The wedding was on the Saturday. We had the whole Sunday as well. So we did like a big barbecue. We left on the Monday. And as I was leaving on the Monday, I started crying because I was like, this was the best time of my whole life. And now I have to leave. And still now, when I think about it, I just get really sad because I'm like, I'm never going to be able to do that again. And it was wonderful. It was perfect. But yeah, couldn't ask for more really. The only other thing I would ask for is that I get to do it again. But I'm not doing that again. Oh my God, it was so stressful. But no, it was perfect. It was wonderful. Yeah, because I did the majority of the planning because I was unemployed. And we didn't worry too much about all the stuff that you should do. You know, so we didn't have the sit down meal. There was a bunch of stuff we just didn't do. Like we didn't have a cake. We didn't do a first dance. We did a brief speech, but it was like a couple minutes. Like a bunch of stuff that it's like if you don't want to do it, then just don't do it. Why would I spend money on that? And like I did my own makeup. Yeah, and then it turned out perfect. It turned out exactly how we would like it. Like I think with your wedding, it's about you. Like my sister's wedding was the year before. That was very her. It was very different to my wedding, but it was like perfect for her, you know? So it's just about what you like when you go to a wedding, whether you like strict organization or just more of a loose structure to it, you know? Now I'm talking like I'm giving advice, but that's just what I found is like, just have it like reflect your personality, like plan your like perfect day and then do it, you know? And then it meant as well, yeah, the day before the wedding was so stressful, but the day of the wedding, it's fine. Everything was taken care of, you know? It was great. It was great. The next one is, what's your zodiac sign? My zodiac sign is Taurus, I believe. My birthday's on the 17th of May. It also said, what's your big three? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not one of those kind of girlies. I support you with my whole heart. You know, I'm not going to be like, oh, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it, but I support you. Cool. Zodiac girlies are like the coolest girlies, you know? I just don't know what mine is, but I support you. Keep doing you, Zodiac girlies. Okay, the next one is about my dress sense, because I had some comments of saying like, I like how you put your outfits together for the videos. I like how you do your makeup and stuff. So like, I guess, how do you like dress in real life? So what I've got going on right now is like big jumper, leggings, socks. But that's just because I tried on like 3 outfits before I started doing this because I just wanted to be comfortable. So I'll put some like outfit pictures on the screen. What I do is every time I have an outfit, I try and take like a full body picture and then I put it in an album on my phone called outfits. And then if I'm like, what do I wear? I can like look at it. So I've got some outfit pictures, but it tends to be, I would say 30% clean girl, 40% grunge, 30% like 70s. Right. I would say that's my mix. Hang on, I have to change my battery. I'll get you an example though. I'll get an example. Muffin was in the box that he sleeps in when I went in that room. Okay, so these are some shoes I bought recently. I bought them secondhand. They're like a suede boot with like this like square toe. Because I'm not a big shoes person, but I liked the vibe. It's like, you see it gives like 70s vibes. And then I would wear those with like some blue jeans. And I've only done that once because I got them quite recently, but I'd say comfort is the most important thing. Unless I'm like really going somewhere, you know, then I'll be like, oh, it's fine. But most of the time it's comfort. With the autism, I can't like survive if I'm not comfortable. So yeah, I just say I have a lot of clothes. I buy a lot of things from charity shops. I've been pretty good, you know, I don't buy a lot of new clothes except for charity shops. And that doesn't count. I bought this from a charity shop. In terms of makeup, I tend to just like do what I feel like. That's probably not helpful, but if I come closer to you, you can see it's like pink. Why? I don't know. I just felt like it. I just opened my palette and I thought it looked cute. Doesn't go with my outfit. Doesn't go with anything. I just wanted to. Yeah, I tend to just like follow my intuition, I guess, when it comes to makeup. Sometimes, I mean, I try and theme it to the characters, you know, like Sebastian was like goth vibes, and yeah, usually I try and theme it somewhat. I don't know. I just really like doing it. In terms of outfits, I'm not great at that kind of thing. In my everyday life, I would probably just be wearing something comfortable. You know, when we went to the vet, I had like leggings, hoodie, trainers, you know. But when I get to do my makeup, it's like, I always really enjoy it because it's like, I can't draw. So it's like the only opportunity I get to like work in like a visual medium, I guess. It feels a bit like art. It feels a bit like painting. I like it. It's like self-expression thing, I guess. Also it makes you look good. Also, it does have a purpose, you know. And then the last one about my personal life is, did you go to the Eras tour? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I'll put some pictures in. What day was it? It was the 16th of August at Wembley. It was amazing. Our seats weren't great. Our seats weren't great. She was so small that I never really had the moment where I was like, that's Taylor Swift. I was like, well, that's just a really tiny woman. My sister cried the whole time because she understood that it was Taylor Swift. No, it was incredible. 10 out of 10. Would do again. Oh, I love her so much. Our surprise song, she did Dear John and she did Sad, Beautiful, Tragic, which I hadn't listened to in ages, so I didn't know all the words, which was shameful. Oh, hello. He literally just pushes the door open. You're not mad about the vet anymore. Come on. You're wasting my time. There we go. Hello, darling. We were talking about you. All good things. I didn't complain. There we go. Okay. Get an angle. There we go. Oh, baby. Yeah, so this is Marmite. This is Marmite. You seen it? Okay, now we are on the subject heading of crochet. And the first question is, show us some of your crochet pieces. Oh, I should have brought more things into the room. I didn't bring a lot of props. I forgot how many props I was going to need. And now I don't want to get up. I'll put pictures in. Okay. So yeah, there's the thing that you could see in my like ranking videos, the big kind of like mural type thing, tapestry on the wall behind me. I made that for my wedding, but we didn't, during the wedding itself, there wasn't really a good place to put it because I thought, oh, it'd be nice to take pictures in front of, but it was kind of tucked away in the corner, so it was a shame. So I made that. That took a really long time. I've shown you before the blanket I made. I've made a shitload of stuff, man. Made that pillow. Yeah, I'll put some stuff on the screen. Some of my favourite things that I've made. And then the next question is, what are you working on at the minute? And I remembered to bring that. So. It's like a jumper. I haven't finished. I'm working on the sleeves at the minute, which is separate, but it's like a patchwork jumper. So I've got the front and I've got the back. Oh, no, baby. I'm doing, it's with cotton. That's the other side. I'll link the pattern. Yeah, it's going to be like a jumper. Yeah, so I'll do sleeves and I'll add the sleeves on. And then I think I'll have to block it because it's not quite long enough, but I did that on purpose because cotton tends to stretch quite a lot. So I deliberately kind of made it a bit smaller than it's going to need to be. But yeah, that's what I'm working on at the minute. I like the colours. I like the colour palette I've gone with. This is my kind of colour aesthetic. Like for the wedding, it was very like dark. I don't know what to say. The tones of it. Autumn, summer, I would say. But it's taken ages. I was working on it over Christmas with my family. Not with my family, while I was with my family. And it's like it's a what's it called? Half double crochet slip stitch. Or like a double slip stitch. Where, I'm going to get technical. You yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over again, pull through, and then pull the first loop through the other two. So it's like a slip stitch, but with an extra yarn over. And so it's taking forever. But it's really fun. I find the colours very satisfying. Yeah, I'll link the pattern. Would recommend. And the next question is, do you have any tips for getting into crochet? I owe my life and soul to YouTube videos. I mean, for multiple reasons, but also for crochet. Just seeing it visually, like my mum is so impressed. She's like, oh, you taught yourself. It's amazing. You taught yourself. But it's like, no, I didn't. Someone taught me. There was someone online. Like there are a million tutorials out there that are like how to crochet. But I'll try and find the specific one that I used, because it's like some people will just like do it and it will be like 5 seconds, but some people, you know, they'll really show you like how to hold your hand, yeah, like how to hold the hook, show you the specific part of the stitch to go into, because that's something really hard at the beginning. It's like there's so many holes. Which hole do I go into? Oh, my little poggy. So I guess, yeah, if you're not vibing with one YouTube tutorial, just look at a different one. Like they are all different. People have different ways of explaining things. And when you find someone you really vibe with, then you do, and you can just keep watching their videos. Like someone I watch a lot is TL Yarn Crafts, Tony. I don't know her. We don't interact. She's just Tony, and I love her. And she's really great at explaining things. I really love her videos, and she's so funny. She's very entertaining. Yeah, I would say like don't feel like you have to buy the fancy hooks or the fancy yarn or anything. Up until honestly like a year ago, like for years I used this like cheap little set from Amazon. Yeah, because there's lots of stuff out there about like don't buy like acrylic yarn because it's just plastic, and it is just plastic, but it is also the cheapest. Like don't feel bad about buying it at all, to be honest. But you know, I'd say start off with the cheapest stuff. See if you vibe with it, because there's no point spending a bunch of money if you're just never going to use anything. That's what I did. I started off Yeah, with just some hooks from Amazon and some acrylic yarn from Hobbycraft. And I would say also, it depends on the kind of person. Some people like just learning via making like granny squares, which is like arguably one of the simplest things you can do. And I did that at first. I made some big granny squares, but the way that I learn is doing a project. Oh, it's making that noise again. I'm just gonna keep going. The way that I learn is through doing a project, because that's what really motivates me as well, is to be like, let me finish this. So one of the first things I made was like this sunflower bag for my sister. And then, you know, you kind of learn through doing that. Like how I guess it's kind of similar to a question that's coming later of, you know, how I started making the videos and if I knew anything about editing. I didn't know anything about editing, but I was like, I'm going to make this one thing and I'm going to learn what I need to learn to make this one thing. Instead of just like learning for the sake of learning. Learning for the sake of learning is wonderful. For me, it helps to have a goal. So I guess, yeah, if like pick a project that you would want to make and then you just work backwards from there and you learn everything you need to learn in order to make the project. I would say that it depends on the kind of person you are, but that would work for me. And that did work for me. Okay, now we're in a section called Random Opinions. What's your favourite colour? My favourite colour is pink. For the longest time, it was blue. And then I looked around and I realised that if you give me an option on a colour to buy something, I will choose pink every time. So it's pink. Favourite ice cream flavour? Strawberry is my go-to. Chocolate, but like good chocolate. I don't like the rubbish chocolate. It has to be like a good chocolate flavour. Like the chocolate, I think it's the fish food when it has the bits of like marshmallow in it. So good. Oh my God, that's the best one. Yeah, one of those two. One of those two. If you were a flavour of ice cream, what ice cream would you be? That's a whole different question. What do I feel like I embody? Maybe like a raspberry ripple, which is just vanilla with raspberry in it, if you don't know. So like mostly plain. Mostly plain, but with some like fun stuff in there. Right? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. Favourite flavour of jam? My favourite flavour of jam is a very specific jam. Raspberry and vanilla. And I tried this jam when I was on holiday. We stayed in an Airbnb and the people of the Airbnb left this like fancy jam as like a present. And I went online and I bought recently 8 jars of this jam and I've eaten 3. And that was like 2 weeks ago. So that's my favourite flavour, raspberry and vanilla. I would recommend that jam 100%. 100%. I'll link it. It's not sponsored. It's a small business. It's just genuinely, I spread it on something. I lick the knife and I just like moan. I do. I can't help it. It's so good. Favorite beverage. Let me think about this while I drink my coffee. It's probably coffee. All types of coffee. I love all coffee. When I make it black. At home, I just make it black. But then if I go, you know, to like, if I buy it from somewhere, I won't get black because it's like, well, I'm not going to spend £3 on a black coffee in this economy. So I'll get I usually go for like a vanilla latte or an iced vanilla latte. Those are my 2 go-tos. Maybe with an extra shot if I need it. Yeah, coffee. I love coffee. Favorite movie? Oh, I should have thought about this before. I didn't think about any of these. I wanted it to seem authentic. I should have thought about it. What's my favourite movie? I don't know. When I worked at the Odeon, I used to work at the Odeon cinema, and they would ask you to name a movie and then they put it on your badge. So it would be like your name and your favourite movie. Mine said Hairspray. I don't know if I'd say that anymore. That's a banger of a movie though. I'm just going to name some movies I really like. Frank. That's a great movie. Shrek. The difference there. I don't know. Now my mind is blank. I can't think of any movies. I'm going to look at my letterboxd. Die Hard's a great movie. I'm just going to name some movies I watched and I liked. Midsommar I really enjoyed. Oh, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Jesus Christ, how could I forget about that? Oh my God. That movie changed my fucking life. Obviously I really liked Barbie. It was a wonderful movie. Nope. The movie Nope. I gave it 5 stars, but would I watch it again? Probably not. It was so scary. I still think about it sometimes. Horrible. Chicago. See, you say, what's your favourite movie? I name 8 movies. Is it in there somewhere? It's probably one of those. It's probably one of those. Okay, it's probably one. Favourite TV show? Yeah, see, it's hard to just pick one. If I was going to pick one TV show that I think made the most impact on my personality, on my sense of humour, I'd say it's either Community or Parks and Rec. That just was my, from the age of 15 to 18, that just was my entire life, was those shows. I'm loving Severance. God, that's a good show. There's a new episode out and I haven't watched it yet. We're going to watch it with dinner. Yes, we are. We're going to watch it with dinner. And I can't wait. Oh, Adam Scott. I just follow him anywhere. do anything for that guy. Yeah, he's amazing. Ben Wyatt. I said this on my Discord. I've said this to my husband. I've said this to his face. Ben Wyatt walks in the room from Parks and Rec. Ben Wyatt from Parks and Rec walks in the room. He says, leave your husband for me. I do it. Immediately. I don't even think about it. You know?
Baba boy.
But he won't because he's not real. And I have to accept that. He's got a tight, compact little body like an Italian sports car, you know?
It's about the cones.
Okay, favourite book. I don't read a lot of books. I really should. I know that I should. I don't read anymore. I read half a book last year when I was on holiday. What books have I ever read? Now I'm going to look at my Goodreads. This is why you have to log everything you do. It's just telling me the last things I've read and it's all just like issues of Chainsaw Man. Oh, you know what's a great book? Oh, what's it called? Six of Crows? Yeah, Six of Crows. Oh, that's a great book. That's up there for sure. I don't know if that's my favourite book. Man, I've read a lot of books. Oh, I'm back in my Colleen Hoover phase. I read a lot of Colleen Hoover in 2017, before it was cool. Oh, duh, fucking Pride and Prejudice. Jesus Christ. How could I forget about Jane Austen? Yeah. What choices? Six of Crows, Pride and Prejudice. Those are two excellent books that I would recommend to anyone. Yeah. Okay, now we get into the fanfiction subheading. And a few people asked, can we read your fanfiction / have you mentioned what your fanfiction account is? As in, like, have you mentioned it and I've missed it? No. No to both. Okay. So my public account, the one that I, you know, if I'm commenting on a fanfiction, is the one that I was publishing fanfiction on pre-YouTube, right? My Stucky, my John Locke, my Destiel. That one, you can read it if you want. I don't know. It's Fiona Sank. You can read it. I don't care. That's from when I was a teenager. There's no sex in it, right? Because I was a teenager. So you can read that if you want. My other one, my secret one, is a secret and will remain a secret because it's not like I'm ashamed of it. It's good. The stuff that I write is good shit, you know? It's good shit. Get some good feedback. Get some great feedback. But to associate, there's a reason why most AO3 things are published under like usernames, right? It's not like someone's full legal name because it's not the most family friendly of content. I don't know how to put this. It's dirty. You won't be able to look at me the same. I won't be able to sit here and talk to you the same if I just can't associate with that, you know, publicly. I got my whole name on my YouTube channel. This is my face, right? So, and then to be like, here's a bunch of stuff that I wrote about Shane would be uncomfortable for me. That being said, it's not like I'm, I don't know, being particularly stealth about it. I've mentioned in videos before, like, the type that I write, certain plot points of things, word counts of things. You know, I'm not shy about, like, being, like, dropping hints, I suppose. And they're not meant to be hints. It's not supposed to be, like, put these Easter eggs together and solve it. It's just, like, I'll just talk about it. I'm not going to be, like, weirdly secretive about it. So if you find a fanfiction and you think maybe Fiona wrote this, maybe I did, right? I won't confirm or deny. So it's out there. Some of it is out there and can be read on an archive of our own. You're just never going to know for sure. And that's fine with me, right? Schrodinger's fanfiction. I think that's a good happy medium in that if you have a very strong suspicion that you're reading it and I wrote it, it's not going to be confirmed, right? You can think that. That's fine. I'm happy for it to live like in uncertainty, you know, ambiguity. But just to be like, this is my username. This is what I wrote. And then you watch my videos and you're like, you know, I don't want that. I don't want that for anyone. You don't want that. You don't want that. I'm telling you now, you don't want that. It's not like the stuff I write is any better than what other people write. Well, some people. I mean, people write fanfiction for free, so obviously it's going to vary in quality. I would say on the scale, I'm in like a pretty high percentile. I have a pretty high opinion of myself when it comes to this kind of thing, because I put a lot of effort into it. I put a lot of time and I put a lot of effort into it. I edit a lot. So I'd say I'm in like the 90th percentile, you know. But there's a whole bunch of other people in the 90th percentile, right? So you don't need me to tell you what my account is. You can go find some other really good stuff out there. You don't need me to tell you. Stop it. You can keep asking. I'm just not going to tell you. Okay? Okay. The next question is fan fiction recommendations in general. So I think what I might do is make like a document. Because things get lost in Discord, don't they? But then it's also like, it feels casual on the Discord to just throw a fanfiction out there and be like, this was really good. And you click on it and it's like, you know, outing my reading habits. So to put it in a static document feels exposing. And I don't have a lot of recommendations. Honestly, mostly I write. And then it's weird, I was thinking about this. I don't recommend many fanfictions because it's like, there are some that I enjoy. Oh, off you guys. Back up a bit. Okay. There are some that I enjoy, but if I was going to send it to someone, I would be like, it's really good, you know, the formatting's a bit dodgy, or like it gets a bit dodgy at points, but you know, overall I enjoyed it. If I was just going to send it to like a friend, I would say something like that. But then to recommend it publicly, you know, I wouldn't want to, someone wrote that for free and it might be like a 15-year-old. And for me to like say, oh, I recommend this fanfiction, but I mean, it's got a bit dodgy parts, then that's like mean. But then also I wouldn't want to just be like, I recommend this, and then you just take my word for it, and then it does have some dodgy parts, you know? So that's why I only tend to recommend things where I'm like 100% on board with it. And it's rare that I find something like that, right? Because I do tend to read it pretty often, but I'm just so... The fact of the matter is that I have been a writer for years. I've been a professional writer. I studied English literature at university. I studied script writing in my master's degree. I have been writing consistently since I was like 10. So my standards are so high. When I read stuff, like if it's got a mistake in it or something, it's not like I'll just stop reading, but I'll notice, right? I'll notice every time. A lot of people in fanfiction do this thing where it's like, no, I'm just talking about grammar, but it's like something will be in speech marks. Hello, full stop, she said, full stop, and the S will be capitalized. 99% of fanfiction does that. Overwhelming amount of fanfiction does that. That's wrong. That's wrong. But it's fine, right? Who cares? I'll read stuff like that has mistakes like that. I'll do that every day of the week. But I will notice. I will notice every time if someone makes a mistake. I have such a high standard. I think that's why I write so much and I edit so much. It's because I just really like reading my own stuff back. And I really like reading other people's stuff. Yeah, I just have a high standard for myself. I have a high standard for what I would call like flawless, let me put my entire endorsement behind this, which is why there isn't a lot of things I would do that with. And I'm coming across as like kind of snobby and like kind of elitist, I suppose, but it's just an honesty thing, I think. I would hate to be like, I recommend this, spend your time with this, when in my head I'm thinking, oh, I'm not mentioning this like problem I have with it, you know? I don't know, different people have different tastes. I guess, yeah, I just have a pretty high standard. But then there are things I will recommend. But they're just few. So saying that, if I was going to make a document with all my recommendations, it would have like 5 things on it. I'll recommend again the stuff I've recommended before, which is A Stain That Won't Dissolve and Things We Don't Mean, which are 2 Alex and Sebastian fanfictions that I love. So many people have commented about A Stain That Won't Dissolve being like, I've read all of it. Thank you. Now I think about it all the time. Like I've literally had like 10 different people be like, you've changed my life with this 150,000 word fanfiction. And good, because same. Things We Don't Mean is the first Alex and Sebastian I read that like really got me into it. I was kicking my feet. I stayed up till like 3 a.m. reading that. I had to like put myself to bed and then I couldn't go to sleep afterwards. And then any other ones I can think of, I like put on the screen, I put in the description or something. But yeah, it also feels weird to like recommend not safe for work stuff. For kind of the same reason as why I'm not sharing like my own fanfiction, because it's like, well, that's what she's into. You know, that's personal. That's personal, but so it feels chill to just like post it on the Discord every now and then, because that's ephemeral, you know. But yeah, those are the 2 that I have recommended in videos before and will recommend again now. And then the last one about fanfiction is, what is the first fic that you ever wrote / what was the fandom it was for? And for this question, I went and I found my old fanfiction.net account, because I started on fanfiction.net, then I moved to AO3, as I'm sure a lot of other people did. And I didn't properly look at it, but I'm going to do it now. Okay, can I see my like bio? bio. Joined March 24th, 2013. Fiona, 17, England. I am like 99% retired, but I've got some half-finished chapters I'll probably upload eventually. I really like metaphors and the semicolon and angst. I don't use the semicolon anymore in fanfiction. No hate to those who do. I just feel like I don't want to come across as pretentious, right? When I write fanfiction. So if we scroll down, the first one I ever published was a Destiel fanfiction called Goodnight Stranger. Cass has been avoiding Dean for weeks, but something keeps drawing them back to each other. Maybe it's the fact that they're falling in love. Maybe. I don't think that's the first one I wrote. I think the first one I wrote was the next one I published, which was a John Locke fanfiction. And then the John Locke one is, a year after Sherlock's death, his closest acquaintances gather to mourn. He feels he has to point out the irony, so lets them know that he's alive. Just straight to the point. Very simple synopses. Just tell you what happens. I've always been very verbose. That very first fanfiction I published says it's over 10,000 words. And then I've got a 43,000 word Destiel fanfiction. 24,000 word Super Hulock fanfiction. Another 10,000 word. And a 15,000 word. Oh, I don't think I finished that one. Yeah, a lot of unfinished stuff on here. But yeah, those were my first ones. I was so into Destiel. Oh my god, it was my everything. Okay, that finishes our fanfiction segment. Now we're moving on to career, as in my past career before I was a YouTuber. It's crazy that I'm a fucking YouTuber. I mean, I don't really call myself that. If you were to ask me, I would say I make YouTube videos. Because being a YouTuber feels like having more subscribers, you know. YouTuber to me is like, the average person might have heard of you. Like Drew Gooden or like Mr. Beast, you know. But yeah, anyway, I'll do a brief, this is what you missed on Glee. I've mentioned before, I worked, the job I had, or the multiple jobs I had before I started YouTube was something called a narrative designer. That was my first job out of university when I was 22, and I did that up until I was 26. 26 was when I got made redundant. So that's 4 years. And a narrative designer can be a bunch of different things depending on where you're working. Sometimes they're called different things, like in one job I was just called writer, you know, or like game writer. But essentially, narrative design covers writing and designing the narrative. So like, I worked exclusively on like choice-based games. So it would be like designing the path of the narrative, right? Because you can't just, with a choice-based game, you can't just be like, here's the story. It's like, you want to go in this direction, you want to go in this direction. How do we do that? Because you can't just do whatever you want in that situation, right? So there's so many situations where, you know, I'll criticize Stardew. I'll be like, I wish that the choice said this, right? There'll be like a choice, like for example, like Haley's Heart event. I'll be like, I wish that the choices instead were like this, this, and this, instead of what it is, this, this, and this. I won't be like, I wish, you know, Haley knew every single fact about you and she came to talk to you every single day from then on with like different lines of dialogue, and then 5 other characters came in. You know, I'm quite aware of the scope of it, because that is what narrative design is. It's like, in an ideal world, with all the scope in the world, you can make a million different branches, you can keep a million different pieces of information. You can just do whatever you want, whatever would be best for the story, right? A million cutscenes. Like I was talking to some people on my Discord last night saying, I think it would be best, if possible, for Stardew Valley to like have, or in all games in this kind of like Stardew Valley genre, because what they tend to do is like, oh, I'm just talking about narrative design now, but narrative design tangent. What Stardew Valley does, and what like I played Fields of Mystery recently, what it does as well, and I'm not sure if they came up with it or if it came from like Harvest Moon or something, but it's like platonic, up until your 8 hearts. 10 hearts, romantic. 14 hearts, romantic, right? And it means that either the arc is just purely platonic and then suddenly it's romantic and it feels like it's a bit out of nowhere, or for like Abigail or something, if you play up to the 8 heart ends on like a cliffhanger and you have to play the 10 hearts to get the end of it. So it's like the arc, if the arc just encompasses 2 to 8 hearts, then it feels random when it gets romantic. If the whole arc is 2 to 10 hearts, then it feels like it's been left on a cliffhanger if you don't get the 10 hearts, you know? So ideally there would be 2 different paths. There would be like a platonic arc and a romantic arc, because romances have arcs, right? But that's something that I'm not going to be in a video and I'm going to be like, why didn't they do it like this? They should do it like this, because that is a whole different matter in terms of scope. That's me being like, that would be ideal, but that's not going to happen because that's asking a lot, right? So in terms of narrative design, it's like you will be told what the scope is and then you figure out what's possible and what you can do to get the best result out of it, right? And then you do all the writing for it. Okay. So that's what I did for 4 years. So there's your introduction. Let's get into the questions. So the first one is, what inspired you / got you into narrative design? So I kind of this is a really annoying answer, but I did it kind of by accident. I don't know how. See, I accidentally became a YouTuber. I accidentally got into the games industry. I just keep stumbling through life. So I was originally I wanted to write for TV. I've said this before. I wanted to write for TV. I did my master's degree in script writing, finished my master's degree, worked at Tesco for a bit. And I was trying to get a job, basically, right? But when you work in the film industry or the TV industry, there's no just like jobs. I mean, there are, but like, you know, in terms of like full-time employment, that's not really how it works. It's like per project, it's like freelance type thing, right? So I was looking for full-time stuff. I was just trying to see what was out there. And I joined a Facebook group called Game Writers, and I saw a post on there about a game writing job for Love Island, the game. And I loved Love Island. And so I thought, okay, well, I've never written for games before, but like, let me just apply to this. And so I spent like a whole day on my application, and I sent in some like samples of just like scripts that I'd written, and I got an interview, and then I had a writing test. And the writing test kind of explained briefly like how the narrative design of it worked. It was just simply like, you know, 3 choices type thing. And they really, really, really liked my writing test. Like they called me to be like, you did a good job. Which was nice. And then I got the job. And I had never, I didn't even know like the basics of narrative design. I had to learn very quickly on the job. And the other 2 people I got hired with did know how to do it. It's probably the fact that I had the master's degree. Also, the guy that hired me said that he likes that I had a bunch of normal jobs. I'd worked at like the cinema and stuff. He said it's like nice not to just read a resume that's like just a bunch of, I don't know, game companies, I guess. And then also it was the strength of the writing test, in that he kept insisting like it was really, really good. So I guess I did a good job. So that's how I got into it, is just seeing this job, applying for it, getting it. And then I learned all about narrative design like while I was doing it. Yeah, because I had never really thought of it as a job. Like when I joined the Game Writers Facebook group, it was like, oh, that would be cool. I like games. You know, and people comment to me all the time. They say like, I didn't realize that was an option. I was like, I didn't realize that was an option until I applied for it, and then I got it. But yeah, that's how I got into it, is by accident. And it feels bad to say, because it's like so many people try so hard to like break into that kind of thing. And like with YouTube as well. So many people try so hard to like get their channel off the ground. And here I am being like, oh, I accidentally did it. But like, I didn't expect any of this to happen. It just happened. Why am I so lucky at this very specific thing in life? Not in general. I would not say I'm lucky in general. I have been lucky. Let's say that. I've been lucky twice in life. Okay, so that's how I got into it. So the next thing is, what projects have you worked on? I think that I'm okay just saying what I've worked on. So as I already mentioned, I started off on Love Island, the game, which was really fun. I loved working there. Oh, it's great. Everyone was so nice and so talented, and we had so many amazing discussions, because it was literally just a bunch of queer people. Right? In terms of Love Island, the game, you know, when I would tell people that I worked there, they'd be like, but the 2 guys who kind of came up with the concept of it, they like cared so much about making it like quality, and also kind of making it queerer than the actual show. So they were always like, because they did it in like seasons. From the first season, you know, you always played as a girl, you could romance girls. And just as the seasons progressed, we just tried to like push more and more like queer representation in there. And then everyone also took it like really seriously. Like we weren't like, oh, it's just like, it's Love Island, whatever. You can like put whatever you want in there. Like everyone took it so seriously and like tried so hard to like make it quality. Yeah, it was just a really great place to work for a while. For a while, it was a great place to work. Some stuff happened, but I won't go into that. But for a while, oh, I loved it. It was great. It was wonderful. I don't think you can get that app anymore. I think they did something, they changed it. I don't know. I don't keep up with it. I don't keep up with what it's doing anymore, out of spite. But yeah, loved working on it. I think I wrote some good stuff. you can't tell what I wrote because everyone had their own like episodes, and I can't remember which ones I wrote, and then also we edited each other's quite a lot. But one line I remember, this is so random, but one line I remember I wrote of this girl was like going off on one, and she said to someone, you can connect to someone if they were a USB stick. I thought that was really funny. Marmite kicking the door open again. He's back. Okay. I also used to always try and get fart jokes into the scripts because I thought they were really funny. I still think fart jokes are really funny. I love a fart joke. I was known for multiple things when I worked there. Fart jokes, the word yeet, and also being really funny. Everywhere I work, this isn't me just like yanking my shit. In 2 of the workplaces, I've been like the funny one, which is nice. Okay, I haven't answered the question. The next thing I worked on was Legally Blonde, the game. I only worked on the first season of that, and I think they may have gone back and edited it. I think they got like a different writer and they may have changed it. So I'm not sure if it is what I wrote anymore. But that's what I worked on next, was Legally Blonde, the game. And then I worked on a game that didn't end up getting made, that got cancelled, called Unscripted, but it was scripted. And yeah, that was for Steam. I worked there for like a year, like over a year, maybe a year and a half on this game, and then the game ended up getting cancelled, which was such a bummer, such an incredible bummer to work on something for a year and a half and then to just get cancelled. Games industry all the way. And then because it got cancelled, I got made redundant, and I was unemployed for a really long time, and I started making YouTube videos. And yeah, those are the things I've worked on professionally. In my free time, I've worked on stuff. Me and my husband have made things together. Yeah, but those are all of my game jobs. Always back. The next question is, what was it like working on a dating game? Really fun. Really, really fun. I remember like one of the first days I was working on Love Island, I was writing like a romance scene, and I remember thinking or saying to someone like, I've been training for this my whole life because of fanfiction. Of just like romance type thing, you know. So yeah, it was really fun, but then also like there was weird stuff to it in terms of like a workplace. So I remember on Love Island we would write, it would never get explicit, right? There was a very firm line of how explicit you could get in terms of like sex. So there was a lot of like wink wink, nudge nudge. And I remember one time someone wrote like a sex scene, you know, and someone else read it and they said like, it made me horny, you know. Like, this is my compliment to you. It made me horny. And it was like, we were like friends, so it was like fine, I guess, to say that kind of thing. But then it also was like strange because it's like a work environment, you know. And then when I was working on the game Unscripted, that was more sexual. And so I would have an entire conversation being like, what kind of bra is she wearing? What if there was no bra and the shirt was like sheer? You know, what if because they were like talking me through like how they position the character models and stuff, and I was like, oh, what if she's like this? What if she's like that? And then I wrote just like a straight up sex scene, and people had to like edit it, you know. And it was like sometimes you'd just be sitting in a meeting talking about sex, like as part of work, and that would be strange. And then you don't want to get too comfortable with it because it's still a workplace. So just the whole time people are like trying to talk in euphemisms and stuff. It's just a weird experience. It was very funny. But yeah, I did really enjoy it. It was fun to get to think about what different qualities people would like find appealing. Like I created some characters in Love Island in the 4th season, some of the characters I created. Yeah, and it was fun to like think about like different types that people would have, you know? Like I made a character, his name is Will, and he was like covered in tattoos, and I got to kind of have a say in like what the tattoos were and stuff. And then I made some other characters, I don't remember. I think there was like a Henry Cavill type. I think his name was it Henry or Harry? I think it was Harry. And then did I make a girl? I don't remember, so long ago. But yeah, it was fun to get to think, just be thinking about romance all day. Just think about relationships and write about them. So yeah, it was fun. And like a lot of the time, most of the time that I worked writing for games, and also now, it's been like, this is my job. This is a job. Because I just enjoy it so much. And that's what you want, really, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah, I've been very lucky in life. Don't get me wrong, I spent a long time working at customer service. I did my time. Okay, I did my time. The next one is recommendations for getting into the games industry. I would say, so apart from when I got hired on Love Island, that's very unusual that I just applied for the job and then I just got it. And I'd never worked in games before. See, to this day, I'm like, that's crazy that happened to me. The other 2 jobs I got were through networking, right? The people who hired me on Legally Blonde, they'd seen that I posted on Twitter being like, I'm looking for work, I worked on Love Island. And then the job I got at Unscripted was through someone I used to work with at Love Island. So I would say networking is probably the most important thing, right? Maybe join, but then to be fair, the Love Island job, I saw it on a Facebook group. which kind of is networking, right? I would say it's not just going to be looking at job websites. It's going to be joining like a Discord, joining a Facebook group, joining, like going to like an event. There's always like games events going on of like meetups and stuff. Doing that, trying to make some kind of connections. And then I would also say it's about like a portfolio as well. Like if someone meets you and you're talking about it, they're probably going to be like, send me your portfolio. Because if you have nothing to show, if you just want to get into the industry, why would anyone let you, you know? That sounds harsh, but like realistically, if you want to be an artist, you have an art portfolio. So if you want to be like a level designer, you should have levels designed. If you want to be a narrative designer, you should have like scripts. And it doesn't, you know, I didn't have any game scripts. I only had, I think I sent in like a radio play or something for my first job, but just like something, right? I would say those are the two things, is like focus more on networking than official job postings. I mean, not saying don't do that, but like don't just do that. And then have something to show, because 99% of job postings will want you to send in some kind of portfolio, right? So those would be my recommendations, but it's such a tough industry. There's a reason that I left it. I didn't want to. I really, really didn't want to, but I just had to, because I would apply for jobs. I applied for so many jobs and I just didn't get any of them, because what was happening, right, during the time that I was applying for jobs is that was the time that like, you know, like 50 people got laid off from Microsoft, 50 people got laid off from Bethesda, 50 people got laid off from Riot, you know. All of these big layoffs happened at the same time, and I just happened to get laid off from this little tiny studio. And so there were just, the market was like flooded with talent, and all these people had been from all these bigger studios, so I assume that they were getting all the jobs. And it's just the competition of it. Like I got a lot of interviews, I got quite far in a lot of places, but there was just someone with more experience than me every time. And that's what they would tell me. They'd say, there's just someone with more experience. Like, you're great. You're great, but there's someone with more experience. And that's fine, because that was true, right? So it's tough. I hear that it's better now, you know. The games industry just has its ups and downs, like any industry. They purge a bunch of employees so that their numbers look better, and then they get investments, and then they hire a bunch of employees over and over, right? That's how it works. And I was just looking for work during one of the downswings. But it is tough. Like, it's not, I guess what I'm getting at is I can't sit here in good conscience and be like, do it, without also being like, maybe don't do it. Just because, yeah, I was looking for work for like 8 months, never found it. Started making YouTube videos, right? Even when I was starting to make YouTube videos, up until like, I think after my wedding is when I stopped applying for jobs. Like, so that was May last year. Up until then, I was still applying and I still didn't get anywhere. So it's hard. Like, and when that was happening, I went on some, you know, game writing groups, and I said, how do people cope with this? Like, I've only been doing this for like 4 years. How do people who've been in the industry for ages cope with this? And loads of people were like, don't make it your only source of income. Have a backup, have like a day job type thing, have multiple sources of income, because there will be times when you just get laid off and then you can't find something else. So I'm not trying to freak you out. I mean, no, some people did ask, like, what's the industry like at the minute? What would you say about like trying to be a narrative designer? Like, that sounds really interesting. And it is really interesting. I'm never going to say don't go for it, because go for it. But just realistically, like, I just had such a hard time between jobs. And then I couldn't find, I was applying for like Tesco and stuff, but then they wouldn't hire me because they'd be like, well, you have a master's degree and you've been working in this industry for ages. Why are you applying here? And I'd be like, I really need a job. But then I wouldn't get hired because they'd be like, well, she's just going to leave. And that's fair, because I would have left. I would have just left. So I couldn't get anything, you know? Yeah, it was just really tough. So those are my recommendations for getting into the games industry. Those are my recommendations for things you should know before getting into the games industry. And that's particularly for writing. Like, I think I'm not sure about the market for coding, art, different types of games industry jobs, because lots of people want to be a writer, right? Lots of people want to be a writer. So you've got a lot of competition in that area. I'm not sure about the other areas. I'm speaking specifically for writing. But yeah, there's just some stuff I thought you should know. Now I feel like a bummer. Now I feel like I don't know, have a backup. That's what I'll say, have a backup. I don't know. I hope that's okay. I hope that was all right. I'm just going to stop talking now. I'm just going to stop now. Okay, this one says, any original creative projects that you're working on, or do you see any in the future? Like, am I going to make a game or write a book or something? Probably not. I have some ideas. I've had some ideas for like years that have just been sitting in my head. But honestly, I'm like pretty fulfilled right now, creatively, because I write a lot of fanfiction. And I make these videos, and together with like crochet and stuff, I feel pretty creatively fulfilled, to be honest. Yeah, because I'm one of those people who I'm just always going to be making something. At any point in my life, I'm writing, something is being made by me. And my husband's the same, and that's one of the things that I love about our relationship, is that we're just always both just making stuff. Like, we just can't stop making stuff, right? And I used to work on like original stuff, like when I was at university. Obviously I had to write original stuff, but honestly I just feel like there's no pressure right now. In the future, if I have an idea that I'm excited about, then I'll work on it. But I don't feel at this point in my life like I need to discipline myself into writing something like that, because I just don't think it will come out well. With me, with writing, the best thing for me, and I've learned this over years of doing it, is just to wait until it just like flows, right? If I sit down and I try and get blood out of a stone, the product is worse. The writing is worse. So I think to myself sometimes it'd be nice to like write a book or write a game or something, but I'm not going to sit down and like make myself come up with something, try and pull blood out of the stone of my imagination, because I don't want to, because I don't feel like the pressure to do that. And I've got so much time. I'm 27. I don't feel the need to think about my legacy. I understand the inclination to be like, let me write a book. Let me write something that people would count as like art, you know? Because like, you know, people don't think of YouTube videos as art. Some people do, some people don't. I'm not really too fussed about that question, to be honest. I don't really think about it. I don't think about it in those terms. I used to think like, oh, if someone like asked me, like I was at my cousin's wedding recently and someone asked me like, oh, do you still write? Are you still a writer? And I was like, kind of. I do fan fiction and I make YouTube videos, but like, I guess I'm not, yeah, on a day-to-day basis, I'm not overly concerned with questions like that. It's just like, am I having fun? Am I creatively fulfilled? And the answer to both of those is yes. I guess it would be more of an ego thing to be like, let me like write a book or like make a game, and then I can be like more well known for these skills that I have and tell people that I made this thing. And that'd be nice, but I'm not going to do that just for the sake of that. Like, I just don't have an idea. And what I'm mostly concerned with these days is on a day-to-day basis, am I making something and enjoying it and I'm happy with it and I'm showing it to people and I'm getting feedback about it? Because I have an entire 100,000 word fanfiction that I have never showed anyone, and I will never show anyone. Because I think at this point, I might read it back, but I think it's probably kind of bad at this point. I think it literally was just like me going through something. It was like 100,000 word like diary entry. But the most recent one that I'm working on is on AO3. And, you know, I'm putting these videos out because, yeah, I'm sharing stuff. And that is a huge part of what is fulfilling about it. So, yeah, I don't see myself doing anything original anytime soon. I'm literally just going to wait and have more life experiences and see if anything like inspires me, because I can't force it. Like I said, I can't force it. I'm not going to get blood out of that stone just for the sake of having something to show people. I can't be bothered. I'm doing fine, you know, and I'm young. Like I said, I'm young. You can write a book at like 40. I write a book at like 60. I've got a million years to do that, you know? I've only got so many years of like being cute enough to make YouTube videos, so I have to make the most of that. Oh, that's funny. Coffee's starting to work. I feel like I'm being entertaining now. Okay, this next question is a really interesting one, and I read it like a month ago and I've been thinking about it since, and I still don't really have an answer, so good job, I guess. It said, looking back, are you glad that you were laid off? Or do you think you'd be happier doing your previous job? You know, in reference to how I got laid off from the games industry like halfway through 2023. And then I started making YouTube videos. And yeah, I've been thinking about it, but I don't know. See, okay, this is the thing, is that I want to say, my inclination is to say yes, I am glad. Because I'm happier now than I have ever been, right? And I'm more confident than I've ever been. I'm at a better place than I've ever been. I still, you know, I'm a mentally ill person, but I'm doing pretty good, right? So I want to say yes, because if you were to say to me now, do you want to go be an narrative designer, or do you want to keep doing this? I'd say I want to keep doing this. But in saying that, in saying I'm glad that that happened to me, I've already talked in this video about the rough time I had when I was made unemployed. It was bad. It makes me sad to think about. It was bad. It was really bad. I don't know how to make a joke out of it. It was just, I was so depressed. It was horrible. It was the worst time. Shall I overshare with you? This is an oversharing video. I'll overshare. Let me show you something. So Spotify did this thing called like a time capsule, where at the start of 2024, it was like, add 3 songs to your time capsule. And so I did. And then it was like, write a note for yourself in a year. And do you want to see what my note said from me from a year ago? Hope it got better. Lol. And it did. Focus on me. And it did. It did get better. And I forgot that I wrote that. And it was so bad. So that's why I've been struggling with this question, is because like, yes, but no. Because I want to say yes, but then I don't want to say I'm glad that that happened to me, because it was probably the worst time in my entire life. But big picture, having got through it, yes, I am glad. Obviously, I wish that I didn't have like 8 months of unemployment and that incredibly low point in my life. But big picture, it was for the best. And that's crazy to say now. Oh, it was awful. It was so horrible. I'm literally, I might cry thinking about it. It was such a bad time in my life. Like I think I've mentioned this in like most of my videos of like how grateful I am to be doing this, because yeah, I'm literally like, okay. Yeah, how grateful I am to be doing this, because that time that I was unemployed was horrible. I had to like ask my family for money. I had to borrow money from people. Sam had to pay for like most things, so that was really hard on him. And then just the act of applying for jobs I just hated so much, and then I would just complain about it. Like, it just caused so many issues. It was awful. And then now everything's just so much easier. Like, life is hard in general, but compared to that, it's like a fucking miracle, you know? And recently, I think around the time that I'm going to be putting this video out, it will be 1 year since the Alex video. Because recently I got an email saying, oh, it's the anniversary of your channel, but that's just when I made the channel. The anniversary of the first video, I think it's like the 14th or the 15th of February of the Alex video. A year. And I can't imagine where I was this time last year. It was just so awful. And now I'm here, and the only thing I have to thank for that is like you guys. Also myself, I guess. I could give myself some credit for working very hard on the videos. But like, yeah, I just didn't think anyone was going to watch them. I didn't think anyone was going to care about it. Like, I just didn't. I wasn't trying to like make it a thing. I just really wanted to. Okay. Anyway, I'm happy with where I am now. Yeah. This isn't me saying I'm glad that happened to me, but I'm happy with where I am now. I just thought that I lost an hour and a half of footage. I didn't. But I just thought I did. And like, because I was talking about that, like the emotions are like right there under the surface, and I was like literally about to just stop. If I had lost it, I would just stop crying. But I didn't. Oh, what a weird day I'm having, man. It's a weird day. Emotional day for some reason. Must be that time. Okay, I'm happy with where I am now, especially because I didn't lose my footage. Okay, so now we get onto the subject of YouTube. Although that kind of, I mean, these chapter titles are like kind of arbitrary because they overlap, you know. One of these days I have to get an actual light, because this is a lamp. So the first question is, what motivated you to start YouTube? I just really wanted to. When I was unemployed, I watched so much YouTube. What I would do every single day for basically a year, over a year, multiple years, is my free time would be crocheting and watching YouTube. So I have watched an inhuman amount of YouTube. Like, I just watched so much of it that I just felt like I wanted to do it, you know? I'm one of those people, if I like consume something loads, I'll be like, let me do it, right? Like, I've made like crochet patterns and stuff in the past, just because I was like, I want to do it, I love it, I want to make one. So I guess, yeah, there was another question that I didn't end up writing down, but it was like, why video as a format? Like, why YouTube as a format? And that's just because, yeah, I would watch YouTube videos. I love big, long YouTube videos. It's my favorite thing to watch. Still, to this day, I'm in the middle of like watching Jessie Gender's video about Emilia Perez. Big, long 2-hour video. Gimme. Love it. You know, it's my absolute favorite thing. So that's what I wanted to make, right? In terms of motivation, yeah, I was writing my first Stardew Valley fanfiction, really obsessed with it. And I would talk to my sister about the fanfiction. I'd be like, I've written 100,000 words. She was like, that's nuts. You should like put that on TikTok or something. And I was like, no, I'm not going to put that on TikTok. And she was like, no, you could probably make some money from it or something. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that, Joanne. I'm not going to do that, Joanne. But it, you know, she was like, it just makes me sad to think, you know, you're putting so much work into something and you're not going to get anything out of it. And that's, you know, that's not really how I think about things, because I am still writing fan fiction and you don't get paid from that. But then that made me think, like, is there a way to get something out of it, you know? And like I said, I didn't start making YouTube videos to be a YouTuber or anything, but I was thinking it'd be like, maybe like beer money, like a little bit of something, you know? And I'd already had the idea of making a YouTube video. I'd already like started making my little notes and stuff. And so I guess, it's actually really interesting. Hold on a second, I have a prop. I need to get like a microphone stand or something. I'm gonna buy a lavalier mic, I think, for the Shane video, because I'm not gonna be able to, I need both my hands to talk about that, man. Okay, so this is a notebook I wrote in, got my 2024 life goals. And one of them says, figure out career trajectory, aka what I want to do with my life. So this was me writing when I was in that really bad place. And this is a big list called possible careers: author, narrative designer, YouTuber, TV movie writer, and then there's some more. And I wrote, I don't have any concrete ideas for a book, but I do have lots of ideas for YouTube videos. I think this should be my priority. Some initial ideas: finish YouTube video script, make and edit and publish. I say finish, I don't think I'd started writing it at that point. But yeah, it was just like an idea I had. And I was like, well, I don't know what the fuck else to do. May as well. May as well. You know, that's what motivated me to start it. May as well. Got nothing to lose. Right? And honestly, another thing, the reason that I put my face in it, and I was like on camera, is honestly just because I thought it'd be easier to edit, and it was. Instead of having to find like a bunch of B-roll for like an entire hour footage, it's not like I particularly wanted to be like a figure, you know. Is my microphone on? Yeah. It's not like I just wanted to like put my face out there or anything. And the reason I called the channel my name is just because I couldn't think of anything else to call it, you know. So I didn't intend to be like an influencer or anything. I just thought it'd be easier to just sit there and say stuff out loud, and it was. So next thing is, what was your biggest hurdle in starting? Definitely how uncomfortable I was on camera. If you go back and watch, I can't do it now. I can a little bit, but if you go back and watch like the early videos, like I was just so uncomfortable. And that's part of the reason that I started making them. That's part of my motivation, is because I was always so uncomfortable on camera. My entire life, so uncomfortable on camera. As soon as someone is trying to take a picture of me, or I know that they're recording me, I just like fill with fear type thing. And still, to be honest, I still kind of get that with other people. But you know, it used to be even myself, I would just feel uncomfortable. So what I did, the first thing I did was, before I even started any of this, is one evening I just sat down, I put my phone up and I just recorded myself, and I just sat there just to get used to it. And I hated it. That was awful. And then once I wrote that Alex script, I recorded myself as like a practice. I literally just recorded myself reading it, sitting at my desk to try and get used to it. And then I think that really changed my mind, because the amount of control that you have, right? That's the thing that I've learned making these videos, is that someone else recording you, you don't know what that's going to look like, right? That's part of what gives me anxiety. It's like, I don't know what I look like. I don't know what I sound like. And that exists forever now, right? But making these videos, it's like, if I feel like I said something dumb, I can just cut it out. I can say things multiple times, so I can just choose the best one. So yeah, my biggest hurdle was like how nervous I was on camera. And that's part of the reason I wanted to do it, is to make myself less nervous on camera. And then I've slowly been getting less nervous on camera, because what I've learned through the editing process is, what I used to do when I started is most of the lines I would take twice. Most of the lines I would do like 2 deliveries, just to give myself options, I guess. And then even now, like I watch footage back where, you know, I've said something, and then, for example, if I go, Alex is really cool, and then I think, oh, I said that really bad, and then I say again, Alex is really cool, and then I watch this footage back, probably the first time I did it, I'll be like, that was fine. That was fine. Why did I do it twice? And that just happened so many times, over and over, of me watching myself and being like, that was fine. A lot of the time when I talk, I'm like, I have too much vocal fry. I'm talking too low, you know? And then I watch it back and I'm like, it sounds fine. It sounds fine. So that's helped with my confidence. And that's part of the reason why I'm more confident on camera now. It's just because of the amount of time I've spent editing myself and been like, it's fine. It's fine. Like I used to sit, when I recorded the videos, I would just sit like this the whole time. Like so stiff, because I didn't want to like make my shoulders look bad or make my arms look fat or something. Just sit really stiff. But then when I started relaxing a bit, it was like, well, that looks fine. That looks fine. No one cares. No one has as high of a standard for me as I do. And even I was like, that looks fine, you know? So I'd say that was my biggest hurdle. And then it kind of relates to the next question of how did you have the confidence to start making them? Any final push that made you go like, fuck it, I'm gonna make YouTube videos? So it was not that I had confidence. It was just that I was like, may as well. And when I made the Alex video, I honestly thought that I just was never gonna post it. I thought it was just like a hobby. And I was sitting there with the video ready. I remember I was sitting at my desk. The video was ready. It was uploaded. And Sam stood next to me and he was like, go on, post it. And I was like, I don't want to. I might just not. And he was like, but you worked so hard on it. It would be such a shame for you not to post it. Just post it. Just do it. And then that's what I did. I just like clicked and I just posted it and I just like didn't think about it. I like tried actively not to think about it. So I was like, no one's gonna see it. No one's gonna see it. No one's gonna care. There's a million YouTube videos out there. No one's gonna see it. No one's gonna care. And then the video's got, I don't know, a lot of views. It's like, I don't know. It's not 100,000, it's like 80,000 or something, but okay, that time my SD card got filled up. I don't remember where the camera was. I'm sorry. I don't remember what I was talking about. Life is so hard. No, I don't remember what I was saying. I'm sorry. Let me think about it. Oh. Yeah, I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have the confidence to like be a person who put myself across in that way. I've never posted on social media. I've never had the confidence to do that. I literally, part of it was genuinely, I just thought no one would see it. And then when people started seeing it, I was like, yeah, it was a whole different experience. Like I recorded the Alex video, the Abigail video and the Elliot video before I even started posting any of them, because I had written the scripts for all of them as well. So that's why at first I was uploading like a video a week, is because I had all of this like backlog. And then I recorded the Emily video and that was the first time that anyone had seen any of them. I think I had like 100 subscribers or like less, I don't know. And to me that was like, I'm being perceived. You know. Still, even now sometimes it's like, oh my God, I'm being perceived. But I try and just like tell myself like, it'll be fine. Every video I've recorded in the past has ended up fine. It's fine. It's just fine. And it's like, I know that because of the experience that I've had now of it being fine, you know? So I guess the confidence comes from empirical evidence. It's not real confidence. It's just the fact that I know it's going to be fine. That's kind of depressing. But yeah, if you're asking me in terms of like, how do you have the confidence to do it? Like in terms of advice, I don't know. Yeah, I just didn't think anyone was going to see it. I guess maybe just tell yourself that no one's going to see it. And also, yeah, like I was mentioning about having the control over the edit. If you record something and you hate it, just throw it away. Just do it again. You know, when you're recording it, it feels like I'm saying something, it's going to be like immortalized forever. It needs to be like perfect, right? But just like try pretending like the camera's like not there. You know, try just like talking to it, you know, just like sitting comfortably, just talking like you talk to a normal person. You don't have to like do like a voice or come across a certain way. Just try just like talking like you would normally. And if you hate it, that's fine. If you want to like do like a YouTuber voice or something, that's fine. I'd say just like record yourself and then just watch it, because you would think that it would, I think that's a question I wrote down as well. Yeah, that's part of the next section. I'll just talk about it now. The question says, do you ever feel self-conscious when recording the videos or editing? I did at first. It's weird at first to like hear your own voice a lot. But honestly, I would think, right, me who I was a year ago, you would think that I would hate it. Looking at myself, hearing myself. To this day, I don't think I have a nice voice. I know that people keep saying that I do. I don't think I do. I don't like it. And sometimes I do get a bit sick of listening to my own voice. But honestly, my opinion of myself has gone up since staring at my face all the time. You would think that I would be like, oh, look at all these flaws I have. But that's what I would think anyway. You know, that's what I would think just looking in the mirror normally. But looking at myself in the videos, I just found myself being like, I look really nice, you know? And that's always a nice thought. Yeah, I just thought I looked really nice. I didn't watch it and be like, oh, you ugly, whatever, like you would think that I would. I just watched them and I was like, I look really nice, you know? So I do feel subconscious sometimes about certain things. There are certain things about myself that I don't like. I'm not going to tell you what they are in case anyone wants to be mean to me, and then you'll know what they are. But I just try and tell myself, like, no one's going to notice that. Every time I've told someone about one of my insecurities, they're like, I didn't even notice that. No one else thinks about that. And when someone tells me about their insecurities, I'm like, that? You know, like the things that you are insecure about are things that no one else is going to notice. They're just like things you're insecure about. So I guess, yeah, like I have gotten a lot more comfortable looking at myself, and it really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Once you get used to it, it's fine, you know? It is weird sometimes though, looking in the mirror and being like, that's that face from my screen. Like sometimes on my personal YouTube account, because I've got my one where I post these, and then I've got my like personal one that I've had for years that I like watch YouTube videos on. I tend to watch my own videos because otherwise they will be recommended to me, and it freaks me out just seeing myself in the like thumbnails. Right? I'm just like watching a video, I'm just chilling out, and then it's like up next, and then it's just my face, right? So what I tend to do is I just open them in another tab after I've published them so that it stops recommending them to me. So it freaks me out. So it is a weird way that I perceive myself now. I've seen my face a lot, but then still, yeah, I look in the mirror and I'm like, that's not the same person, that's just me. Or it's hard for me to associate myself like that. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. But I do feel self-conscious sometimes. But if anyone, you know, is thinking, oh, I'm too self-conscious to do that, just try it. You don't have to show anyone. Like, do a practice. Like I did like 4 practices of recording myself doing various things before I filmed anything. The Alex video, the intro that I ended up putting in the video, I filmed an intro, I filmed like the 2 hearts, and then I was like, okay, I'm comfortable now, let me do the intro again. And that's the intro that I ended up using, because the first intro I did, I was just so uncomfortable. It's really just about practice. If I can do it, genuinely the most uncomfortable person on camera in the entire world, the most self-conscious person in the entire world, if I can do it, anyone could do it. And I mean that. And also you don't have to be on camera. That was just because I was lazy. I know about my phone. There we go. So, learned anything about yourself since starting YouTube that surprised you? I guess that I'm like kind of I don't want to say extrovert because I'm not an extrovert. I'm like 1,000,000% an introvert. I mean, I'm, you know, no one's one or the other. I'm like mostly introvert, but I guess like I have like a certain performer aspect to me, you know? Like I was a theatre kid. I was a drama club school musical kid, but I hadn't done that kind of thing in years and years. But now it's like more and more in the videos, it's like making funny expressions or like the way that I say things, you know? I kind of enjoy that part of it of being like, what little inflections are going to come out of me today? Like the Mr. Key video, the last video when I said about Mr. Key, and I was like, he's such an interesting guy. I was like, where did that come from? You know, I think that's something that surprised me is like the level of like showmanship, I guess, that kind of comes out of me sometimes, right? Because right now I'm kind of doing it a bit more. I'm a bit more lively. Towards the start of this video, I was more tired. I guess it depends on my energy, my mood, but yeah, I guess that's something that surprised me, is that I enjoy a little bit of flamboyance, a little bit of showmanship, and I kind of like attention. I've always been a person that didn't like attention, but I kind of do. I understand it now. Like, I never would post on social media or anything. I would be like, why do people tweet? What's the fucking point? Why? I don't get it. But then now if I post something and I get likes, it's like, you know, I get it now. I get it now. I understand why people do that. I'm not immune to the attention economy. I like it when people like my posts. It feels nice. I posted something on Blue Sky, just being like a shit post, and I got like 170 likes. And I was like, that feels nice, you know? Validation. So I guess that's something that surprised me, is because, yeah, I was always like, I don't like attention. Please don't look at me. Please don't look at me. For the love of God, don't look at me. Don't perceive me. But in certain contexts, I guess it's okay. You know? Certain contexts, I like some attention. I like praise. Who doesn't like praise? Some people. Some people. But I like it. I like it when people are nice to me. I like it sometimes when people pay attention to me. Because I get to control it, I guess, you know. When you post things, you get to control what people are seeing that they're paying attention to. Instead of me just being in public and being like, don't look at me. Which I still do a lot, to be fair. I'm like, don't you fucking look at me. I'll kill you. Yeah, anyway. The next question is, how do you feel about fan art? Like, if anyone was going to make a fan art of me. One person has done that so far. And I almost cried because I loved it so much. The thing about it is that it baffles me that someone would spend their time and use their skills to do that for me. You could do that for anyone in the world. You could draw anyone you wanted. Me? You know? So I guess the way that I would feel about it is like baffled and grateful to be, if anyone spent their time to do that. I'm not saying, this isn't me saying, make me some fan art. Don't spend your time how you like, you know? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I've, as far as I know, it's one person has done it, and I was just, all I could say was like, I'm overwhelmingly grateful that you would spend your time doing that for me, right? So if anyone felt that way and wanted to spend their time doing that, I would have the same reaction. I would say, I can't believe that you did that for me. That's amazing. But then that's not me telling you to do it. That's not me like fishing for it. You know, I don't know. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say the way that I feel about it is overwhelming gratitude and bafflement and awe. But then also, I'm not fishing for it, right? Because I just feel like that would come across as me being like, someone go draw me. But like, you don't have to. If you do, I'll be happy about it. But like, spend your time how you want. Spend your time how you want. But grateful. Grateful. Baffled and grateful. The next one is, how do you cope with the expectation to constantly produce, especially with your long video formats? Not well. Not very well. You've probably noticed, like, you know, I put this video out, which is a Q&A. The previous one was also a Q&A. The one before that was also unscripted. It was like ranking Stardew Valley characters, because I guess in an ideal world, all I would put out was these like meticulous, long, polished deep dives, you know, like Sebastian videos 3 times a year or something, you know, H Bomber Guy vibes. But I'm not there. I'm not H Bomber Guy. I'm me. So it's like, I guess what I've ended up doing is just like giving myself a break and saying, let me make unscripted stuff in between, because I'm still working on the Shane video. Oh my God, I'm still working on it. I'm scared at how long it's going to take me and how long it is taking me. And I mean that, actually. It does scare me. It is scary to be working on it and to have written 30,000 words and to not even have finished talking about the 2-heart scene and to just be overwhelmed by it. But I guess what I'm doing is being nice to myself about it, because I know what lots of people respond when I say things like that. They're like, we'll wait as long as you need. We'll wait. There's no pressure. And I love that. Thank you. That does help. But then there is also the thing of like, well, that's how I make my money. You know, I didn't put out anything in January until like the last day of the month. YouTube knows that. It did not pay me well. I'll say that. Did not pay me enough to live. But then of course, you know, I've got my Patreon and the sponsors and everything, but it's a big factor is the payment schedule of YouTube is that it doesn't pay you if you don't put a video out. So I know that everyone would be fine if I just like disappeared and worked on the video, but I can't do that, right? So yeah, I guess I'm just putting less pressure on myself to like every single thing on my channel must be meticulously analysed and researched. Because yeah, people have told me that they enjoy just the videos where I'm just like talking, like the ranking video. So I guess that's how I cope, is giving myself a bit of a break, doing stuff that's a bit easier, you know? Yeah, and not just trying to rush through the like Shane video or something, right? Because that would make me feel like shit if I had to just like rush it. Yeah, so I guess that's how I cope. If you have any ideas of other kind of easier videos I could make, maybe I could do a Stardew playthrough or something. Because the Shane's still gonna take me so fucking long. How did I do the Sebastian video in 6 weeks? That felt like forever, but now it's like, how did I do that? I don't know, I guess I didn't care about him that much. But with the Shane, it's like, I just have to get it right. So that's how I cope, I guess. Overall, fine. Please join my Patreon. Any consistency in my life. All right, now we have the subheading of production, which is like talking about the production of the videos. The first question is, what equipment do you use? So this camera is, what is it? It's a Nikon, I don't know what it is. Nikon Z DX. It doesn't do 4K. It does 1080p, 60 frames per second. Because I wanted to get a 4K one to like future-proof myself, but also no one watches videos in 4K. Some people do. Most people don't. I don't. Most people watch it on their computer, on their phone. They can't tell the difference. And I saved myself like £400. I bought it used, and I bought the lens used. What lens is it? I think it's... Hello. It says Z DX 16 to 50 millimeters, and I've got it on 16 millimeters. Yeah, I bought the lens used as well. I love buying shit used. It's always so much cheaper. And then this microphone is the Rode Wireless ME. And then I bought this stick. This was like £20. This is called like the interviewer stick or something. I don't know. I can link it in the description. But yeah, so I've got the camera. This has a receiver, and the receiver's plugged into the camera. Oh, and then I've got a tripod. This tripod was just one that my husband just owned, which was very helpful. It's like a Star something. What's it called? Hama. Hama. And then I think it's called like a Star something. I'll put all the links. I'll put the links in. Or I'll just put where they are in the description. Because some stuff you can't find anymore. But he just owned that. That's part of the reason why I was able to just start making videos is he owned a tripod and he owned a microphone. You know, the microphone I used to use, he just owned those. And I was like, well, all I need is a camera. And I used my phone. So that's what I use now. It was a long process of slowly upgrading things. You know, like with the penny video, it was like, now I have a new microphone. Now I have a new camera. Because for the longest time, yeah, I used this microphone that Sam already owned and I used my phone. And I think it looked pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I would recommend everything that I use. I do like it. The camera can be pretty annoying, but it's quite cheap. But yeah, I mean, if it's in terms of like starting out on YouTube, you just need your phone. The number one most important thing is having nice audio. So if you can spend like £30 on like a lav mic or something, then you're good to go. Because people don't really care that much about what it looks like, but they care about what it sounds like. I won't watch a video that has bad audio. I'm sure you won't. I learned that with the Linus video when it turned out really bad for some reason. Oh, and I edit with Final Cut Pro, and I use Audacity for my sound, and I have an SSD, and I have an SD card. So yeah, this is the question that I referenced before. Did you know anything about editing and other stuff before starting? No. And I just really wanted to learn. I just thought it was really fun. Like, yeah, it was like in my free time, I would do the editing for the videos in amongst applying for jobs. And I remember, yeah, like this time last year, like what I would do of an evening is I would edit until I got bored. And then I would play Red Dead Redemption 2 for the second time. And then I would do that till I got bored. And then I just like swap between the two things because it was just fun. Like it just scratched that like novelty itch in my brain. With ADHD, it's like new. It's new. Because now when I edit, it's like, it makes me feel nothing. Most of the time it just is annoying. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's fun, to be fair. I really, really enjoy getting more complex with the editing, like with the Sebastian video. That intro to the Sebastian video where it was like all the different clips and the transitions and stuff was really fun to make. I love doing stuff like that. But then, you know, when it's just like normal editing, like probably what I'm doing right now, it's like, you know. But I didn't know anything about editing and I learned only very basic things. Final Cut Pro is very intuitive and it has a 90-day free trial, which is like a long ass time. But no, I didn't know anything about it. But I was confident that I could learn and I did. Because it's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Okay, this next one is what is your research process? And what's your research process for things that aren't in the game? For example, like, you know, social or psychological issues to tie in, finding sources. Honestly, if I was going to name my two biggest things that I use for research, the Wayback Machine and Wikipedia, right? Wikipedia in particular with the Doctor Who video, right? I don't so much use Wikipedia for the Stardew videos because most of the stuff you need is on the Stardew Valley wiki. But Wikipedia, like for the Doctor Who video, I went on about the episode and there were just, you know, down in the references, there's just like a bunch of really good sources. I don't tend to use Wikipedia itself. Well, I do for like random stuff, you know, for like, what's this concept? But you know, I looked on the Wikipedia page for like that Doctor Who episode and then there were just like a bunch of links to sources. And then I follow those links and then I find more things through that. It's just like you kind of start. Wikipedia is like such a good entrance point for research. It's like the entrance to the rabbit hole. You just keep digging through. And then, yeah, in terms of the Stardew Valley wiki, it also has the kind of references section. It's got like outside links to stuff. And then the Wayback Machine. God, I use the Wayback Machine every fucking day of my life, right? If you don't know, the Wayback Machine is like you put in a website into the box in the Wayback Machine and it will show you that website from the past. It will show you what that website looked like 5 years ago. If it has it doesn't have everything. So I've been using the Wayback Machine because all of the Stardew videos haven't had information about 1.5 or information about 1.6. I've been using the Wayback Machine to look at the wiki pages from 1.5 so that I don't accidentally put spoilers in, right? And, you know, if there's a dead link to something, you put it on the Wayback Machine, it will have it. You can look at it, you know? I use it all the time. It's so helpful. So that was really helpful with like the Doctor Who research as well. Especially, yeah, because someone asked me in particular, like, how do you find sources that were like quite old? And a lot of the links were dead, but then you put that link into the Wayback Machine and suddenly it's alive, you know? Okay, how's that look? Sam helped me fix the light. And I made a cup of tea. Once again, I've forgotten what I was talking about. This happens all the time in the scripted videos, but I don't just go, I forgot what I was talking about because I have a script, right? So if I take a break, you just don't even know. But now it's like, well, what was my fucking train of thought? Oh, the research process. Yeah, so I was talking about like Wikipedia and stuff. Yeah, and then I guess it's just like thoughts that I have. Like, I guess there's not that much pressure to like think about any piece of media that exists in the entire world, which one is going to be the most relevant, right? So like, for example, in the Sebastian video, when I tied in like the Great Gatsby, maybe I could have found something that would have worked better, you know? But that's just what I thought of. Sometimes I reference Taylor Swift songs, you know, like in terms of like tying things in, it's just like what I've heard of. And then also what I do now is I kind of tend to get a consensus from, well, not consensus, I tend to like dip my toe into like Reddit. And I also now am part of like multiple Discords where I just talk about Stardew Valley all the time with people. I have hijacked dozens of conversations and made them about Shane recently, and proud of it. See, in terms of finding sources and stuff, yeah, I tend to start from like Wikipedia or something, or just a Google, and then you don't get what you want, and then you Google again, and you don't get what you want, and you Google again, and then yeah, just seeing what other people have posted about stuff. I don't know, I feel like that's vague, but like yeah, just generally kind of starting out broad and getting more specific. Yeah, digging yourself a little rabbit hole. It's like click through links. Oh, what does that mean? Let me go look that up. What does that mean? Let me go look that up. You know, type thing. I like to be thorough. I'm very thorough. I don't know if that's influenced by the fact, you know, I went to university and stuff. Probably. In that I just feel I have a certain academic rigor to my sources and things like that. I feel like I need to back myself up, whatever I say. I feel like I need to back myself up. Because why would you just take my word for it? Why would you? You shouldn't. Realistically, I mean, it's good practice, I guess, because you shouldn't just take my word for it unless I back it up. And then I'm not going to believe something that I read in my research process unless it's been backed up. Like what I'm writing in the Shane script, I wrote about, he's got like a code, I think it's called like a Code Sultan XL rooted into his, you know, Xbox type thing. And I was comparing it to the Game Genie, and I was going to be like, oh, well, the Game Genie was really popular, so it's probably influenced by that. And then I was trying to look up how many units it sold, because I was going to be like, well, it sold 5 million units, so it's probably based on that, because everyone knows what that is, right? It's not like some niche thing. And all I could find telling me the number of how many units it sold, every single webpage I found links back to one source. And that one source was a Wayback Machine link, but the Wayback Machine link didn't work. And I put the original webpage into the Wayback Machine, all of the links didn't work, right? There was no way for me to verify that information. So I don't believe it. Right? Unless I can find that original source of, apparently someone from the company said, oh, we sold like 4.56 million units or whatever on that webpage. I can't see it. I don't believe you. I'm not going to put it in the video, right? And if I do, I'm going to be like, you know, maybe this is true. Sorry, I'm just eating now. I'll edit out my chewing sounds because I hate hearing people chew. I'll edit it out. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, just keep scratching away at it, you know? And then don't be ashamed to ask. Sometimes I ask on my Discord, I'm like, does anyone have this? Does anyone know this? Yeah. So the next one is, how do you organize the essays? What information should go where? Like, how do you structure them? You know, if you have a certain amount of things to say, how do you do the structure? So usually, you know, what I do is I do like it linearly, like 2 hearts, 4 hearts, 6 hearts. But yeah, like I'm really struggling with that, actually. I'm struggling with that right now with the Shane video, because it's like, if I want to include every single piece of information about him that exists in all time, that's not just like a 2 heart, 4 heart, 6 heart. That's why I was like, the introduction is 20,000 words, because I was going to put it all in the introduction, but then it's like, but then that's just so much information. So I think I'm going to kind of sprinkle it through the video. But if you're asking me like how, like advice or whatever, like I don't know, that's something I've really struggled with. What I tend to do is there's this program called Miro, I don't know. And it's one of those things where you can like zoom in a lot or you can zoom out a lot, and you can like put post-it notes all over this like imaginary whiteboard. And I tend to use that because I have aphantasia where you can't picture things in your head. I can't picture things in my head. So I can't physically do that thing where you just zoom out and you look at everything from above. So I really struggle with that. Like I struggle to keep the through lines, and I also just have the worst memory of anyone I've ever met. So I struggle to maintain the 3 lines, and I've been all right so far in terms of the other videos, because like I said, they have the structure. But with the Shane video, it's like there's so many threads to keep hold of. I'm just struggling with it. Like what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to write a first draft, and then I'm going to work with that, right? Just get all my information out there. A lot of the time I work from the structure first. Like with the Sebastian video, I had that idea of like, at a certain point, I'll be like, I've misjudged him, you know? What I've done with all the other videos, I'm not doing that with this video, but what I did with all the other ones was like, watch all the heart events, make some like initial notes, start writing the script upon like, and watch the heart events again, and then expand on these notes. So I would generally know like what kind of direction I was heading in. Where's I going with that thought? See, I struggle to keep the 3 lines. So in that way, I would go from structure down to writing, right? Because I would kind of know where I was heading. But with this, what I think I'm going to do is I've got multiple sections where it's like they're not connected to anything else. So it's like afterwards I can kind of take it out and put it where I want. And I can go through after and I can edit things and I can add these like through lines. I just need to, there's just so much information. I just need to get it all down and then I can work with it because it's too much for me to keep in my head. You know, it's the Sebastian video, but also probably going to be like twice as long, twice as much like granular information. So I guess, yeah, like, if the structure's not working, like I said something about this on like Patreon and I had some good advice of people being like, you know, just let it cook in your brain. Think it through, right? So I guess if you can't figure out what goes where, just get everything down and then it will be a bit easier. Instead of trying to like do like an outline first or something like that. Because when I write like fiction and stuff, I don't ever do like an outline. Sometimes I do like vaguely, but a lot of the time it just ends up heading in different directions because actually writing is so intuitive, I guess. Like, you know, take, this is so random. I'm getting so random now, but oh my God, so random, you guys. Take like How I Met Your Mother. Like you watch How I Met Your Mother. The ending, spoiler alert, Ted gets with Robin. Weird. But you go back to the beginning and you're like, I can see that when they started this show, they thought Robin's the mum. Because they did, right? He's going to date all these other women. He's going to come back to her. Oh, not, she's not the mum, actually. She's just the end game, but whatever. And it's like, just because that's the idea you had at the beginning, doesn't mean that's the idea you should stick with at the end, because you shouldn't have done that. So it's like, like if you write yourself an outline, sticking rigidly to it, a lot of the time isn't going to be the best thing. And sometimes it is. So I'd say just like try to be flexible about that. Each project is different. For the like Sebastian video, like I followed my original idea for the structure and it worked fine, but you know, with the Shane one, I'm trying to kind of stick and move, be flexible about it. So I'd say, yeah, try a couple different things. There's a few different approaches in there. Yeah, I guess try not to get too bogged down with that. It'll come. It'll come. It'll come for me. It'll come for you. It'll come for us all. How do you deal with procrastination / stay motivated to finish things? I don't know if this means in general or it means for the YouTube videos. For the YouTube videos, it's because it's how I make money. I do struggle with finishing things a lot. I struggle less these days. I think honestly what it is, the main thing that motivates me to finish things now is being able to like put them out and like share them. Like that's why I hadn't published a fanfiction in years until I published one that I did recently. And it was because I just kept polishing it. I kept polishing it. And it was like, at some point you just have to put it out and you have to call it done. And I did. And I hadn't published fanfiction since I was like 19 and I find it so rewarding. It made me so happy to see people like enjoy it. That I was like, this is amazing. I should do this more often, you know? And then with the videos as well, every time I publish a video, I get this big wave of people being like, that was so good, you know? It's like really nice. So I'd say that's like my main motivation these days as well as like being paid. But like, yeah, when I'm thinking back to how it was before, I think honestly, yeah, at the beginning, it was like the novelty of it. I don't know how I stayed motivated to finish the very first video. Yeah, I'm very surprised that I was. I thought the entire time I was making it that I was just going to quit. I wasn't going to do it. That it was just going to be one of those things. But then, yeah, I guess I had put so much effort into it. And also Sam kept me accountable. You know, he was the one that was like, please put it on YouTube. So I guess maybe have someone in your life who's willing to be like, you worked so hard on that, like you deserve it. You owe it to yourself to finish it. And also, yeah, think about the end goal of it, like sharing it with people. Because you can't really share something until it's finished. Well, you can, but most of the time you won't. Although I do that. I usually send my best friend early drafts of videos and she like hooks me up and it's nice. So I would say, yeah, I mean, for me in particular, having ADHD, it's like my motivation is based around like my brain going, you know, having like the happy serotonin or whatever, dopamine. I don't really know the differences between those two. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, I'm not a disciplined person. I'm not. I guess if there's a way of tricking your brain into associating finishing the project with happy feelings, you know, like when I finish something, it's like, yeah, I get like the validation of being able to put it out there. But then it's also like, I don't have to look at it again. At a certain point on the Sebastian video, I took a walk because I was like, I don't want to listen to my own fucking voice anymore. And then when I was able to just like never look at it ever again, after watching that 4-hour video like 8 times, it was so rewarding for me. So I guess, yeah, personally, it's kind of a rewards-based system. I'm not a disciplined person. Yeah, if you want advice like that, I'm not the person to ask, but that's how I personally stay motivated. What was your favourite deep dive to make / favourite video? Oh. Do you want Everything I try fails. Do you want to know what happened? My microphone ran out of battery, and an hour and a half of what I recorded, unusable, no audio. So I've got, yeah, that's charging, the receiver's charging, this is charging, so it's gonna just have to kind of perch on the top like that. I'm just gonna rally. I'm just gonna do it again. It's 10 o'clock now. 10 o'clock now. I took my makeup off. We're just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna do it again, right? No big deal. I didn't have a mental breakdown. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. Where was I? I was talking about... Sorry if... So I'm sorry in advance if this last part, it seems like I've said it all before, because I have. Was this video just a huge mess? This is just me as a human being, just a mess. Oh well, Fiona after hours. Who up? Me. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. Alright, let's have a look. Where were we? What was your favourite deep dive to make / your favourite video to make? My answer to this was the penny video, because I got my sister involved. And that was really fun to have my sister involved, because I love her. And if I could, I would involve her in everything I do ever in life. Can you hear me? I'm going to check. I'm sorry, I'm going to double check. I can't do this again. Okay, we're good for now. I may check again 100,000 times. Yeah, so my sister, I love my sister, and it was fun. Every time I saw her, I was like, the video has this many views, and the penny video is the most viewed video on my whole channel, and I credit the fact that she is beautiful and smart. I don't credit me, I credit her. See, that's an original joke. I didn't make that the first time. That's new. I could still be new. I could still say new things. Yeah, I love her. I would get her involved in every video if I could. Hopefully more in the future. She said that she would want to do videos for like Patreon with me. It was like, his sister plays Stardew Valley for the first time or something like that. And then we did briefly talk about, you know, like you do with people, like what if we did a podcast together, but we have the same voice. People can't tell us apart. So that would be really hard. Anyway, and then I said, why do I feel weird? I feel like I need to specify like when I'm repeating myself and when I'm not, because it feels ingenuine when I am repeating myself. The answers are going to be the same. The jokes aren't going to be the same. Right? I didn't make any of those jokes. I didn't say the thing about the podcast because I don't want to just recite the same jokes. I'll tell you when I repeat myself. I don't know why, it just feels weird. The idea that you're watching this and you're like, oh, but did she come up with that? And she's just pretending to think that that's funny. No. Okay. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. And I also said the Sebastian video because I put my whole putty into it. Because I tried really hard. I learned a bunch of editing techniques. Oh, and I said as well, I mentioned my concept of a cinematic shitpost, which is when I try really hard on something, but the spirit of it is a shitpost. And that was the entire Sebastian video. In the, you know, like the first 2 minutes of it, when it's like the transitions and it's like the paper tearing transition and stuff, that was supposed to be just like a big shitpost. But then you watch it and you think, oh, she tried really hard. And I did try really hard, but it is a shitpost, you know. I think it comes across as earnest quite a lot of that video. And it is, in a way, but it also has the spirit of a shitpost. And I hope it comes across that way. Cinematic shitpost. And then I said, I really enjoyed working on the Doctor Who video because it was just so much fun. It was such a breath of fresh air working on that video. I loved it. I felt like I could really, because it was a different like fandom, I felt like I could really wanted to do something different with it. And then I did. So I was like standing. I had to sit down after a while when I was filming that video. I was like standing, I wore a tie, did a green screen, you know. It felt really fresh. So yeah, that was really fun. I really enjoyed that as well. So advice for starting out with content creation. Oh my God, I talked about this so much. I said so many interesting things. I probably rambled for too long. Maybe this is for the best, to be honest, because I rambled a lot. It was an hour and a half and we got like 8 questions left. Advice for starting out content creation. Yeah, I said, okay, so God, I have to just say everything I already said. Okay, let's rally, let's do it. Just gotta do it for Shane. Why is it for Shane? I don't know. It just is. I can do it. Okay. I said when I started making the deep dives, I didn't Google deepest dive into Alex from Stardew Valley. I didn't Google Stardew Valley deep dive. I didn't Google Alex deep dive. I did not want to know if it already existed because all I wanted to do was make that one thing. I did not care if it already existed. I didn't want to know. I just wanted to make it and put it out. Nothing was going to stop me. And I think did I mention about my whims yet? Oh, I forget what I've already said. My whims. I'll say it again just in case. I tend to just go with my whims. I didn't look into like what I think would be successful, what, you know, algorithmically. I didn't look into algorithmically what I thought would work. I just wanted to make that one fucking thing and I did, right? So now in hindsight, I can look back and be like, this is why I think this was successful. But at the time, I wasn't doing it on purpose. It just kind of happened, right? I happened to be successful. I've mentioned a few times, I think, that this whole thing was very accidental. And I'm very grateful and I'm very happy about it. But now, yeah, I can look back in hindsight and be like, I understand why this didn't just go into the void like I thought it would. And I think part of it is the fact that it was a series that people, you know, there's a familiarity to it. Think of the commitment of watching the next episode of a show versus the commitment of watching an entirely different movie. That's new. I just came up with that. That's a good way to put it. Coming up with new things. Yeah, so it was easier for someone to subscribe because they wanted to see the next part of the series. They like knew what the next video was going to be. It wasn't just going to be something random. And yeah, once I had a backlog, it was easy for people, a lot of people, most people I would say, go through that backlog because you know what you're going to get. So, you know, I think that I owe some of my success to that. So I guess do something like that. Make something that's like a series or, you know, connected videos so it's natural for people to go from one to the other. And also just make sure that you're making something that you enjoy. Because I could, if I wanted, make videos just solely about like game design, narrative design. I could make videos about plays that I've studied. I could make videos about crochet if I wanted. But I don't want to do any of those things. Those are my interests. Sure, I could. I have the like expertise, I guess, but I don't want to. I want to make videos about Stardew Valley, even though it's like silly. And I tell people I make videos about Stardew Valley, they're like, haha, but will you do anything else? Like most people I know in real life don't watch them because they don't have an interest in Stardew Valley, and that's fine. But I just really want to make the videos because it's what I'm passionate about. It's what just pours out of me. So I guess like if you're thinking about making some kind of content, it's like don't think about how it will be perceived by the average person. Just think about what you want to do. Like, yeah, that's a big hurdle actually. Going back to a question that was for me like 6 hours ago, that was like, what's one of your biggest hurdles? Oh my God, my biggest hurdle. How did I even miss that? My biggest hurdle was like, what if someone I know in real life sees this? That's cringe. That was my biggest hurdle, 100%, million%. And I still feel that way. I don't tell people that I do this. I don't have it on my social media anywhere. Only if someone asks, what are you up to now? Will I tell them? But people don't know. I don't mention anything. Because I was absolutely terrified of someone that I know in real life or like went to high school with finding one video. And I still feel that way. Some people I know have told me that that my Doctor Who videos come up in their recommendeds. So I wonder how many other British people have seen the thumbnail of me on a paving slab from Doctor Who. Probably don't recognise me. Even people I know in real life were like, I didn't know it was you at first. Which makes sense. So that was my biggest hurdle. And then at the end of the day, you got to kill the part of you that cringes, right? That's another thing I was working on in myself when I started making the videos is, you know, I said I was really uncomfortable on camera. Another thing is like just being petrified of being perceived or embarrassed, just embarrassed by everything in life. That's why I never post on social media. Well, I never used to. Because I was like, well, what if someone sees it and they think it's lame? I don't want that. I don't want anyone to think anything of me. I just want to blend into the background. I don't want anyone to have an opinion of me. I just don't want anyone to notice me ever. That's not a way to live. What kind of way is that to live? That's no way to live. Don't live that way. Don't live that way. So I guess if you're starting out with like content creation or whatever, my professional advice is the thing with this series. My personal advice is like, don't fucking care if someone in your real life sees it, because they probably won't. I haven't had that situation where someone's like, I saw you on YouTube, and I have to be like, that's never happened to me. You know, and I've been doing this for a year now, so yeah, who cares? And your friends and family will think it's really cool. I remember I was in a cafe with my mum and I told her I've started posting YouTube videos and I wanted to cringe out of my entire body. And I told her I had 50 subscribers and she was like, 50? And I was like, yeah. She was like, that's amazing. That was when I had 50. And she was so happy for me and my sister was so happy for me. My husband was so happy for me and my friends were so happy for me. No one was like, that's fucking lame. Because they love me. You know? So yeah, I guess that's some advice for you. I'm so bad at finishing talking about the questions. I'm just like, yeah. So, awful. Okay, yeah, so that's the end of the production category. Now we've got future videos. And I kind of ended up, the first time I kind of ended up just talking about all of this as one big topic. Because all of the questions are like, after you've done the deep dives, will you make other Stardew Valley videos? Are you going to do all the Stardew characters? Are you going to make videos about other games? Just like what are you planning in the future? So after the Shane video, it depends. Because at the whims, I just follow my whims, right? Like I made the Doctor Who video because I just like really wanted to. I really, really felt like it, you know? The idea of making a video and like I don't want to hurts. And I like can't. It's part of the ADHD is that I just have to do what my broken brain tells me will make me happy. Tells me will give me dopamine. I just have to follow my whims. So that's what I'm going to continue to do because that works for me. Yeah, I think, so this is my guess at the minute. I think after I finish the deep dive series, after I do Shane, I'll probably take a break from Stardew for a bit. I have a lot of Doctor Who videos planned that I'm dying to make. So I'll probably do that first. I have my Taylor Swift video essay I wanted to make. I wanted to make a video about mouth washing. I'm not sure what I wanted to say about that game. It's just, you just play it. I just have to talk about it. I've played it. I haven't like gone into the fandom. I don't really know what people's like opinions are and stuff. It just begs to be talked about, that game. I was going to make a video about an episode of Community. High School Musical's on my list. I don't know why I just wrote High School Musical on my list of videos to make. Yeah, so I have a bunch of other stuff I want to talk about. I could talk forever. We know this. I could talk forever. Just saying that. Yeah, we're still going. Okay. Do you mind if I get comfy? Do you mind if we get real comfy hours? I'm tired. I'm so tired. It's late. I'm gonna lie here like you're my shrink. Okay. I'm holding it back to front. You can't even see the stickers. Okay. Oh, what was I talking about? All comes back to my childhood. All comes back to my childhood. My dad left. I haven't seen my dad since I was 11. Fuck you. Anyway. Yeah, so I'll probably cool off on Stardew Valley videos for a while. But I'm still so involved in like the community. I'm still writing my fanfiction. Still my husband, you know? So it'll pull me back at some point. What I said before was I started talking about Stardew Valley Expanded. So I would say the number one comment I get of like, will you make this kind of video is, will you do deep dives into all the Stardew Valley expanded characters as well? And Ridgeside, because they are Stardew Valley mods that have like new bachelors and bachelorettes. And I would say right now my plan is no, because it just doesn't interest me right now. So I'm very sorry. I have played Stardew Valley Expanded. I have played Ridgeside. Oh, I'm gonna have to tell this entire story again. So boring. Okay. I have played them, but what happened was I got really overwhelmed. Like I installed them both at the same time and played them both at the same time, as well as like some other mods. And I just got so overwhelmed by everything being different. And then also I was doing all the Stardew Valley Expanded stuff. I didn't really go up to Ridgeside. And then after a little while, I think I did like the luau where, you know, you put something good in, you get loads of points with everyone. And then I went to Ridgeside, and because of that, I like suddenly had 2 hearts with like everyone. And it played me like 7 heart events in a row. And after the second one, I just started skipping them because I was like, I came here to do one thing. Please don't bombard me with heart events. And then I just kind of gave up because it was like, well, I've skipped all these heart events. I'm not gonna be able to catch up. And there were just too many people. I don't know. I think I might go back to it because that was like over a year ago. That was before I knew vanilla Stardew Valley as well as I do. So I think I'd be less overwhelmed if I went back to it. And also I'd probably do it one at a time. Stardew Valley Expanded and Ridgeside, because both at once it was too many new characters. It confused me. It's too many. I got overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed easily. Yeah, I do. I know, it's surprising. Yeah, so right now I have no plans to do that. Maybe if I feel the pull to return to Stardew Valley in like a series kind of way, maybe I will end up doing that. We'll see. And also something I said, I think on my Discord or in a comment somewhere, was that what I'm going to do after this Stardew series is a series on all the people from Dream Daddy. And I said that because I was panicking a little bit about what I was going to do after the series. And I was like, I wanted the security, I think, of another like series, because it is nice to know what my next video is going to be. But I'm not sure if I'm still going to do that. I think I might. Definitely make some videos about Dream Daddy. Robert pissing me off. Don't piss me off, Robert. Definitely at some point. But right now I just have like a bunch of other stuff I want to make. Like, yeah, the Doctor Who stuff. The Taylor Swift one. So we'll see. I can't predict my whims. I can't tell you a bunch of helpful information. Join my Patreon. I think I said that already. I think I said that in the first part. Yeah, I think I did. Still, if you want to know what I'm doing, it's on there. I did the Cup song on there recently. That's not a joke. I actually did do that 3 times. And then today I posted, should I dye my hair purple? And like 15 people said yes, so I might do it. So if you want to make big decisions about my life like that, then you should join my Patreon. Okay, let's see what the next question is. Oh, I'm laying on top of it. This is comfy. I should do all my videos like this. Oh yeah, it was about Stardew Valley gameplay videos. Like of me playing Stardew Valley. You know, you can see me, yeah. My feet are just out. I got socks on, I should be okay, right? I never got an answer to that question I asked last video. Is it okay with socks on? Oh well. Take them. Whatever. They're free. You get socked feet for free, but you have to pay for them. Not really. I don't have that service anywhere. What was I talking about? Maybe I'll make a compilation at the end of this of all the times I go, what was I talking about? I've forgotten what I was talking about, you know. Stardew Valley gameplay videos, right. So like in terms of like videos that are like, I played 100 days of Stardew Valley. I played a year of Stardew Valley. I did the Stardew Valley. Like, I would do that. I did something like that for my Patreon recently, of me just playing Stardew Valley, and that was fun. But then I don't know what I would do. Like, would it just be, would the appeal just be that it's like me? That it's me playing Stardew Valley? Like, would there have to be a gimmick to it or anything? Like, I played 100 days of Stardew Valley blindfolded. Or would it be I play 100 days of Stardew Valley and I try and avoid Shane at all costs and I have a mental breakdown, right? Is that what you would want from me? Or just, I just play it? Because that doesn't seem that interesting. So let me know what you would like from a video like that, and maybe I'll make it. That sounds easy. That'd be good. Make a nice easy video. I say that because the Shane video is kicking me in the fucking tits. It's so hard. Give me easy, give me slop. I'll make you some slop. You want my slop? I can't say that, that's horrible. You want it though, don't you? Yeah. I'm such a little freak. This is After Dark Fiona. Yeah, so let me know what you would want me to do of a video like that. And yeah, I'd want to make that. That'd be fun. I like different gameplay videos. I'm not very good at games. I'm fine at games. You know, I'd say I'm medium at games. Average. Whenever I play a game, I just hit like normal difficulty. So I'd say I'm pretty standard at games. Okay, I think we've covered all the subjects about videos to make in the future. Yeah. Okay, now we have the subheading of media opinions. The first one's about Stardew Valley Expanded. I already talked about that. The next one is, do you play Stardew alikes like Fields of Mystria? I started playing Fields of Mystria recently. Let me see. If I go on my Steam app, will it tell me how many hours I have? 42 hours I have in Fields of Mystria. And I bought it like a week ago. It's very good. I do really like it. I've kind of stopped playing it now because me and March, we got to 6 hearts. You can't get them above 6 hearts because it's early access. So what else am I going to play for? If there's not a man who's mean to me, why would I even do it, you know? Why would I even farm if there's not a man involved who's mean to me? Tell me that, right? I wouldn't, and I haven't been. So I've kind of fallen off of it a little bit now, but I did really like it. For the longest time, I was resistant to the idea of like Stardew alikes, Stardew-esque games. Because I just thought, well, I'm just going to spend the entire time being like, this isn't Stardew Valley. And I did. For the first like 10 hours of Fields of Mystria, I was like, this is pissing me off. It's not Stardew Valley and it's boring. Sorry, Fields of Mystria. I'm sorry, Fields of Mystria. The opening is slow. The opening is too slow. Let me do things. Don't just keep showing me cutscenes of my character doing stuff. Let me do it, right? Be Fallout New Vegas, don't be Fallout 3. You know? That's just what I kept being like. Playing Fields of Mystria, I was like, let me do something. And then the mines open up and I was like, this game's great. You know, the mines, I love the mines in Fields of Mystria so much more than the mines in Stardew Valley. The monsters are so interesting. The monsters, each monster is like a little puzzle, in that you have to figure out how to attack them. You know, it's like fucking Dark Souls or something. And you don't get that in Stardew Valley. And I really like it. And each one, like, it was so rewarding for me to figure it out and to just like meet a new type of enemy and be like, how do I do this? And just like spend a bunch of time trying to avoid them and then be like, and then end up being able to defeat them and be like, I did that, you know? Great. Love it. And that was when I started really getting into it, is when the mines opened up. So now that I've played that, I'm more open to playing different ones. I think I'll probably check out Coral Island soon. People keep telling me about that one as well. So I'll probably check that out soon, now that my mind's been opened to other games. Yeah. Anyway. Yes, that's what I think about that. First game you ever played / what made you interested in games? So the first game I ever played probably was Super Mario Brothers 3. So I'm young, right? I'm too young for the NES because that came out in the 80s and I was born in 1997. But my mum had it because it was my cousins who are like 10 years older than me. My mum had it for some reason. I think my grandparents bought it for when my cousins were coming over. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we had this NES with a bunch of games, and me and my sister would play Super Mario Brothers 3 for like hours and hours and hours and hours. I was so bad at it. She always got to be Mario because she's older. I always had to be Luigi. Still to this day, like if there's a Christmas and there's a Mario game out, we will play it, and I always have to be Luigi. To this day. She just turned 30. And I always have to be Luigi. Bullshit. I hate you, Joanne. So we used to play that so much, just constantly. That game is amazing. But then the game that really got me into games, so until I was like 14, 15, I was just playing Call of Duty and Halo, as you do in like 2011, right? Everyone was just playing Call of Duty. Well, I don't know about other people. I just know about me. I was just playing Call of Duty and Halo. And then my sister went out with this guy and he was really into games and he introduced us to Portal and he introduced us to BioShock. And Portal, I was like, wow, there are games out there that aren't just shooting stuff. This is amazing. I love this game. BioShock blew my fucking mind. Blew my little tiny teenage mind wide open. That twist. Oh my God. It hit me so hard. It hit me like a fucking train. It was amazing. Especially seeing as I fancied Atlas the entire time. What else did you expect from me? Come on. Man in video games? Yes, please. Yeah, and that was the first game I played where I was like, video games can have a story. Obviously Call of Duty has a story, but like, does it? The war, etc. And then after I played BioShock, I started getting into like Fallout, Red Dead Redemption, shit like that. Playing The Last of Us, like seeking out games for story. That I'd say BioShock is the game that made me a gamer. Because it just blew my fucking tiny mind wide open. I was genuinely just like, I've never considered games can be like this. And just like the meta element of that was such a good period of gaming. Because both Portal and BioShock are just like that period in gaming where it's like starting to think about the relationship between the player and the game in that meta kind of way, because that's what BioShock is, isn't it? It's essentially just a commentary on the fact that video game character tells you to do something, you just do it. And it's the same with Portal in that, GLaDOS will be like, go die. And so many people apparently just think that that's the end of the game, that you just have to go die. And I did at first. And then I was like, it's still going. And then there's the whole thing with like the Rat Man, how he's like physically behind the game, right? In the walls of the game. You get to see the behind the scenes of the game. It's fascinating. It's amazing. Oh, what a good time in gaming. Yeah, so those are the games that got me into games. 100%. Fiona Sexter Origins. Gamer. Biggest creative inspirations. It says video game /movie/book. But what I said earlier and what I will say now is that at this point, probably my biggest creative inspirations are YouTube videos, right? And fanfiction, because my two creative outlets are making YouTube videos and writing fanfiction. So it makes sense that would be my inspiration. I've started doing this thing recently with fanfiction where I call it a word bank. Right at the bottom of my document where I write my fanfiction, I have a little subheading that says word bank. And underneath it, if I use a word or if I'm reading and I read a word and I'm like, I love that word, I never use that word, I forgot you can use that word, I'll put it in my word bank and then I won't forget about it. Because a lot of the time I'm reading and someone will be like, their lips grazed, and I'll be like, oh, grazed? Grazed is a great word, I forgot about grazed, and I'll write it down. Because when I'm writing and it's like, I personally tend to just accidentally just use the same word over and over. And you could do that, I guess, but I just don't like doing that and I just forget all of the words that exist. So I have my little word bank. So that's how I take inspiration from fanfiction. Also, phrases and then just inspiration, Sometimes you read back what I've written and I'm like, oh, actually I can see my thought process, how I liked a way someone did something and I kind of did it in that same way. Obviously not in like a plagiarism kind of way, but just like a structural kind of way or something like that. So I take inspiration when I read fanfiction to use in my own work. And then, with YouTube, when I grow up, I want to be Jenny Nicholson. I don't know if she's younger than me. She might be. Let me Google that. Jenny Nicholson husband? I don't need to know that. Oh, she's older than me. Okay. I assumed she was younger than me. She's 33. Oh my God, it's telling me Jack Nicholson age as well. That's really funny. Anyway, when I grow up, I want to be Jenny Nicholson. And Sarah Z. Sarah Z actually, I think, is the same age as me. Hang on. Sarah Z is younger than me. So that's fine. That's fine. I feel nothing. I feel nothing. She's a year and a month younger than me. That's fine. That's fine. That makes me feel nothing in my heart or my soul. When I grow up, I still want to be her too. She's so good. Those are my two girlies. I don't know them at all. I love them. I want to be in their club. I want to be in that cool club. I want to be a bread tuber. Yeah, anyway, non-specific. I take a lot of inspiration from YouTube videos. I watch so many YouTube videos. That's why I started making YouTube videos, because I watch so many fucking YouTube videos. So I'd say that's where I get my inspirations from, is other YouTubers. Yeah. That sounds right. That sounds right to me. I think that's what I said before. My sister just sent me a message that says, the video is going to fail. And that's like a funny response to something that I messaged her. But it was so funny out of the blue to get a message saying the video is going to fail. Fuck you, Joanne. This next one is opinions on the Stephen Moffat Doctor Who era. I'm going to make a video on this. I'm going to make a video on it. I hate him. He's my personal nemesis. I hate him so much. In the Doctor Who Christmas episode, the Doctor Who Christmas episode this year was written by Stephen Moffat. I was sitting there with my mum, my sister's husband, Christmas Day, snuggled down under a heated blanket to watch Doctor Who. It came up on the screen, written by Stephen Moffat. I went, no! And they were like, what? I was like, it's gonna be bad. And then it was bad. The next question on this list is, what did you think about the Doctor Who Christmas special? I hated it. I'm really sorry. Because the person who asked it, I think, said like, I liked it. What did you think of it? I hated it. I hated it. It didn't make any fucking sense. I hated it for so many different reasons. And I spent like an hour and a half on Christmas Day refusing to shut up about it. It was unbearable for my family. It was unbearable. And maybe I'll make a video about that, like towards Christmas time. I hate it so much. I love Ncuti Gatwa. I love him. He's great. Why is Stephen Moffat still allowed to write for Doctor Who? Russell is in charge again. Russell, you know you don't have to hire him. You can say no. You should say no, Russell. I'll do it. I'm available. Fuck this YouTube shit. I would do it though. I would do it. I'll just take a couple months off. Whip out an episode. Easy peasy. Call me. Anyway, yeah, I hate him, and I will go into it in a whole video because I need to back up my arguments. I can't just be like, I hate him, but I do. Make peace with your God, Stephen. The next one is, what was your most heartbreaking regeneration of Doctor Who? Which is, if you don't know, when the Doctor goes, you know, because it's like the 9th, the 10th Doctor, the 11th Doctor. It's when they change. It's called the regeneration. For me, it's David Tennant, because I'm a David Tennant girly. I grew up with David Tennant. I mean, I started watching it when it was coming out with Christopher Eccleston. I loved Christopher Eccleston. But, you know, David Tennant was doing it for like 5 years or something. So he's my Doctor. He's my Doctor in my heart. And the way that he goes, spoilers, he goes, I don't want to go. Who's that? Muffin. You want to hang out with me? You come to say hi. Muffin making my little cozy bed. Do you want to sleep on my crochet? You always like sleeping on my crochet. Okay. Don't make me lose my train of thought. And not even give me some good content. I'm just going to pick him up. Oh. Yeah, come on. Ugh, little bitch. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so David Tennant says I don't want to go. And nobody wanted him to go. Least of all me. You wink at me. Little bitch. And then he did go. So that's definitely number one. Close second is Christopher Eccleston, though. I watched that again recently. The way that he, the entire time, is just trying to make Rose feel better about it. Because it's kind of her fault, but then she did save him, and it's so complex. It's so complex. Love it. Heartbreaking. Yeah, the way that he's, like, trying to make her feel better, even as he's actively dying. So that's close second. This one is favourite Taylor Swift album / song. Oh, you do not want to know how long I spent agonising over this in the first time I made this video. What I settled on was, if you were going to put a gun to my head and say I could listen to one Taylor Swift album for the rest of my life, it would be Reputation. And that's crazy because I hated Reputation when it came out. Like art pop. Before its time. Before its time. Yeah, but I would say top 3, Folklore Evermore, that counts as 1. Lover, Reputation. And that's hard for me. And then the thing of favourite song, I literally named like 10 songs and I was like, it's one of them. I think it was like, okay, let me just name them from memory. New Year's Day, Cowboy Like Me, The Lakes, Invisible String, So Long London, Guilty as Sin, Superstar, that's a great song, underrated song. All Night Diner is an unreleased song. That song is amazing. Paper Rings, I Think He Knows, The Archer, Don't Blame Me, Don't Blame Me. Oh, Champagne Problems. Oh, and 'Tis the Damn Season. Okay, I think that's all the ones I named earlier. It's one of them. One of them's probably my favourite. I can't tell you which one. Like, I'm supposed to know that? No, I don't know. Get out here. Name your favourite Taylor Swift song. Cruel. No. I'll give you like 8. There you go. That's what you get. Asking me stupid questions. Alright, he's not going to hang out with me. I'm just going to chill down here again. Ugh. Favourite arc in Doctor Who? I think what I settled on eventually was Martha. I love Martha. I underestimated. I did not like Martha when I was a kid. I was like, bring back Rose. Fuck you, Martha. Bring back Rose. No, Martha's great. I love Martha. I love Martha. Oh, favourite musical artists? Okay, off the top of my head, things that I named. Billy Joel. Mitski. My Spotify Wrapped for this year was Taylor Swift, Charlie XCX, Chapel Roan, Kesha, Sabrina Carpenter. I didn't even listen to that much Sabrina Carpenter. I think it was literally just Please, Please, Please. I listened to that so many times. I listened to a lot of Billie Eilish, The National, The Vaccines, Linkin Park, because of the Sebastian video. I got back into Linkin Park. Eminem. I still listen to a lot of Eminem. Doja Cat. Childish Gambino. Harry Styles. I was really into Lizzo. Kind of cooled on Lizzo, but she got some good stuff. Was really into Kanye. Obviously not anymore. ABBA. Elton John. I went to see Elton John in concert. It was amazing. Is that everything? That's a pretty good selection. Is that good? Do you think I'm cool now? I want you to think I'm cool. Should I name some cooler people? I don't know any cooler people. Whatever, I have my own taste, it's fine. Thoughts on Zutara. So this is Zuko and Katara, I'm assuming, from Avatar The Last Airbender. My thoughts on Zuko are he was one of my earliest crushes. I did watch that show when I was like 17, which is older than most people, but the title of my Tumblr blog used to be Zuko Alone for a while, because I love him. Zuko and Katara, I think I compared it to Hermione, in that it's like, it would have been a bit spicier. My fanfiction pilled brain is always yearning for enemies to lovers, but in these child pieces of media where they're children, is obviously going to be a different dynamic. I think it would have been good. Aang and Katara are cute though. It's a bit bland. It's a bit safe, but what do you expect? Zuko and May's relationship. I don't know. I haven't seen that show in a couple of years, but I remember that being a bit meh. I think Zuko could do better. Zuko gives such Sebastian energy. I'm sorry. What the hell? Why did I not make that comparison before? Zuko gives such Sebastian energy. Are you kidding? That's rough, buddy. That's rough, buddy. Sebastian and Shane standing outside the saloon, sharing a cigarette. Shane says, "I'm really depressed." Sebastian says, "That's rough, buddy." Canon. Don't tell me that's not canon. Tell me that didn't happen. Tell me that's not happening right now. You can't. That happened. Oh. And then Sam is so soccer coded. Are you kidding me? Sam being like, "My girlfriend turned into the moon." And Sebastian being like, "That's rough, buddy. That happened." Canon. Oh my god, that's so funny. And then who's Katara in this situation? Penny. No, but then they're siblings. I guess it would technically be Vincent if it's the sibling of who I'm calling soccer. I don't know, man. I guess that's not a one-to-one situation. Alex. Alex is the Katara. Sebastian is the Zuko. But they're like children. Come on, they're children. They are children. Thoughts on Zutara? Vaguely positive. Vaguely positive. That's what I'll say. No strong feelings. They did have some chemistry. They had some mad chemistry when she offers to heal his face wound or whatever, and then we're trapped in that. I have vague memory of them being trapped somewhere together in an ice in a cave or something. They had mad chemistry. So, and then the last question is, what is something you've been meaning to watch or play and you haven't gotten around to? And the answer to this is Baldur's Gate 3. Now, you may think that I have played Baldur's Gate 3 because I had some comments of or some questions of what's your favourite character from Baldur's Gate 3 and why is it Asterion, And I know who that is just from culture. But I haven't played it. I played it for 2 hours. I got overwhelmed. There were too many buttons, okay? There were too many buttons. I got overwhelmed. There was too much going on. And there was no Shane equivalent, right? Tell me who the Shane equivalent is and I will play the game again. Asterion, he's cool. He's very clean, right? I was talking to people on my Discord about this. I've been discussing quite in depth there recently. And I said, tell me, why is there a connection between Charlie from It's Always Sunny, Nick from New Girl, Shane, Robert from Dream Daddy? And then we started adding more people to this category. And it was Joel from The Last of Us. I want Ben Wyatt from Parks and Rec to fit in there somehow, but he's not dirty enough, I don't think. But I love him. Maybe that bit when he was depressed. And then someone was like, you have a type. It's a little rabid and dirty. And I was like, rabid and dirty? R&D. My R&D department. So that's how I've been referring to it now, is my R&D department of these of this very specific type that I seem to have for fictional men. So if there is an R&D man in Baldur's Gate 3, please tell me, and tell me where to find him, and then I will play the game again. If not, why? BioWare. Was it BioWare? I don't think it was BioWare. Let me look it up. It's like a BioWare adjacent studio. Larian Studios. I say they're adjacent because I just know they're the games that bisexuals go crazy for, as the BioWare games, the Larian games. If there are no R&D men in there, Larian, why? If there are, tell me where he is and how to find him. And then I will play the game again. Then I'll have a reason to play the game again. And then I will get over the fact that there's so many buttons and I got really overwhelmed to find him, you know? Yeah, I've been meaning to try again. I think it's one of those games you need to sit down, really need to like pay attention to. And it was Christmas of 2023. Sam got it for me. That was when I was unemployed. I didn't have the headspace to learn something new. I played it for 2 hours and then I started playing Red Dead Redemption 2 again. Oh, and this is a thought I had when I was doing this the first time was Arthur Morgan. Arthur Morgan. R&D. Every time I play him, I make him have stubble and I dress him really hot because I like looking at him. I love Arthur Morgan. Oh my god, I'm so in love with him. I played the game for the second time. Spoilers. I'm going to give you time to skip the spoilers if you want to skip the spoilers. It's one of the best games in the entire world. Okay? When I played it for the second time and he died. Crying like a fucking baby for like half an hour. And I knew it was going to happen because it's the second time I played it. Oh. Okay, no more spoilers. Jesus Christ. Oh, that game. Incredible. Anyway, he belongs in R&D. So tell me where the dirty man is in Baldur's Gate 3 and then I'll play it. Okay, cool. So that is the end of the questions for the second time. What time is it now? It's like 11. It's 11 p.m. I love life. I love life. I love life. I should film all videos this late. Although I think it probably kind of looks kind of blurry because the thing with the fucking ISO, it's not enough light. I don't know, whatever. I bit my tongue at some point today. It hurts. I'm not sure when I bit it. I did. It just hurts. Oh yeah, Shane questionnaire. So if you haven't seen on my Discord or on my YouTube community post, I have made a Shane questionnaire. It is a Google form in which you can vote on various opinions you have about Shane. For example, what kind of shirt does he wear? What colour is his hair? Is he related to Marnie? Is he not related to Marnie type thing? There's like a voting element to it. And then there's also like a free speech, writing portion of it for if you have anything you want to tell me. Because I've had people be like sharing their experiences with like how he relates to them. Like in every single video that I make, in the comments, people share, you know, their personal feelings about the character. And I love that. I love reading those. So this is an opportunity to do that in like a concentrated area so that I can kind of see it all. 1,300 people. The last time I checked, 1,300 responses in 24 hours. In less than 24 hours. Let me check now. Let me check again. Now it's been 2 days, I think. Oh my God. Why did it just show me this picture of me? When is this picture from? Me in 2014. Look at my fucking eyebrows. Are those not some 2014 eyebrows? I'm a victim of culture like everyone else. I was 17, to be fair. That was me at 17. What was I doing? Shane questioner. Oh my God. It's almost at 1,700 responses. That's insane. I thought I was going to get like 100 max. Anyway, if you want to fill it out, I'll put it in the description. I'll put it in the description. Don't feel like you have to, because I have a lot, but you know, I haven't read through everything yet. So if you have anything you want to share with me, I would appreciate it. Yeah, and all the questions are optional. So if you literally just want to go and vote, I think his hair is green, and then peace out. You can do that. You know, all the data I can get is valuable. I don't want to have to put my dunce hat on again. It was shameful. I still have it. It's just like in my room. Sitting on the floor. Sometimes the cats step on it, which is deserved. There's another form of how long you think the Shane video will end up being. That form is linked in the questionnaire. So if you haven't filled that one out, you can fill that out as well. I love forms. Bitches love forms. I'm bitches. We all love a form. Yeah, I was just thinking about, when I was making the form, I thought, I'll get like 60 people, max 100, filling this out. 1,700. And then it made me think about how when I did the premiere for the Sebastian video, I said to Sam, like 100 max. And I was being very humble about it. I was like, I'm not expecting 100. That's like best case scenario, best possible case scenario, 100, right? I didn't want to sound like I thought it would be 100 people because I was like, because it won't, right? 900 people watching the premiere, 900 people. And then I guess it makes me think about consistently underestimating myself, underestimating my reach, I guess. I don't know. It's hard for me to visualize that many people. As I mentioned, I can't picture things in my head. I don't fucking know how many people that is. I don't know. A lot. It's a lot, little muffin. It's a lot. I love you. Let me give him a little pat. Oh, he's a good boy. Last chance. He's gonna do it. Oh, hell yeah. It's good for the content. It's good for the content, little muffin. For the content. The capital C content. Yeah, so if you want to fill out the questionnaire, go for it. Shane video when? Question mark? Who fucking knows? I've written 30,000 words. I haven't even started talking about the full heart scene. So, I don't know. It's ready when it's ready. It'll probably be in multiple parts. Because, I need money. Straight up with you, I can't wait to make an 8-hour video and then put it out. I would need to split it up so that, Mama needs the moolah, you know? So yeah, I'm going through it with the fucking Shane video right now. It's fun, but it's also, like, challenging. It's the hardest one that I've had to make. The hardest video I've ever had to make. It'll be okay, though. I love him. I love you. He knows. He knows. He knows. And she knows. She knows. I know she knows. Okay. I hope that you have a good day. I hope that, oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. He's such a good boy. See, he shows up now when I have nothing else to say. Should I just sing Hamilton? In the eye of the hurricane, there is quiet. What? For just a moment. What? A yellow sky. He's eating the cable now. That's what this is. You fucker. Now this is content. I love you. Oh, off he goes. Okay, I'm gonna go too. Okay, thanks for hanging out with me at 11 PM. Thanks for not being weird about my feet. Don't be weird about my feet. Thanks for looking at me when I don't have any makeup on. Thanks for Raycon for sponsoring this video. Okay, tell me who the dirty man is in Baldur's Gate 3. Right now, go into the comments and tell me. Okay, bye.